Hello and happy Tuesday evening. It is time for another top five. What's up, Jason? How you doing tonight?
We're doing pretty good. Pretty running. Wish I had a little bit more time running around like crazy. Just got done with coaching some of my high school kids, and now we're here entertaining the crowd. So I can't wait to talk about party members and some more video game stuff with you.
Excellent. So I have to apologize. So yes, tonight it is top five. We are ranking our top five favorite party members. I will get into that in just a moment. But I screwed up a little bit because I thought we had four people for our panel, and then yesterday I put our Discord group together so we could communicate, and one of the people's like, I said I'm going to be on next week. I'm like, oh crap. So I like to have at least four people, and we don't because I scrambled. I asked a bunch of people. Our guest here on the panel tonight asked a bunch of people, and no one was able to join us. So it'll just be the three of us tonight. But joining us, we also got my good buddy Carl of RNG. Hello, Carl.
Hello.
So yeah, that was entirely my bad. I screwed up. So there's just three of us tonight. But I think this will be fun regardless because I've been looking forward to this topic for a while. So I'm glad we're making it happen.
Yeah.
So how you doing tonight?
I'm dying.
Oh crap! I'm sorry to hear that.
Nah, it's just work has been slammed me pretty good at the end of the day, and we've been working out on my lunch break, so I'm just sore, tired, and trying to get some pep back in my step, as they would say.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you were able to join us tonight because I don't remember. Shoot, let's go back into my notes. But did you suggest this one?
I don't remember. I suggested so many of them. I don't remember.
I think it might be because it's someone. I know it was one of us that did it, but it was definitely someone that's been on the show. So, Carl, you're gonna take it.
Sure, why
not? So I either way, I know that if it was you that suggested or if I came up with it, I knew it was like, oh, Carl will be a great guest. I really wanted to have Kay on as well, but she wasn't able to make it tonight. So. But yeah, so tonight we are ranking our top five favorite party members, but I did expand that a little bit because party members almost exclusively means RPGs, but I expanded it a little bit to include characters that like join you, whether it's for like a single level or are like your companion through an entire game. It doesn't necessarily have to be a RPG, but like someone who's a named character and, helps you in some way in the gameplay, isn't like a man in the chair type person that just feeds you information over the, in intercom or something, but someone's actually in the game. So it expanded a little bit because I got a couple of those on my list. So, but if you don't, this is all our own personal list. So if you don't have any of those type of people on your list, that's perfectly fine. And as I like to do for my list, I like to keep it to like one pick per genre or franchise. So that's just what I do. But obviously, that is not what you have to do. That's just something I do for myself. So I am looking forward to talking about this topic tonight. So let's see here. I forgot again to try to think up some intro questions. But since I forgot to do that again, that was entirely on me as well. So we'll go ahead and
dropping a ball hard here, Neo. Jeez.
Yeah,
it's a holiday season. I mean, I didn't even help him, so I'm dropping as a co-host too. I mean, I can help that a little bit.
You got a little bit more busy stuff IRL going on.
A little bit.
I definitely don't fault you for that. So let's see here. So, all right, well, we'll go ahead and get started then on ranking our top five favorite party / squad members / cohorts, teammates, whatever you want to say. And Jason, why don't you go ahead and kick us off?
All right, I'm going to kick us off, and I'm going to go in the opposite direction of like RPGs, so everybody come at me. I'm going with the sport game. I was choosing between two of them, but I'm going with Karl Malone from NBA Jam Tournament Edition.
Oh, wow, nice.
I never would have thought of.
Yeah, so no, I was between Charles Barkley or Karl Malone, but I went with Karl Malone just because he's the opposite of John Stockton. So because we all know in NBA Jam, the most important thing to do is shoot the three-pointer, not to jam. So with Karl Malone, you have a really good defender. You have a really good somebody with power to knock him down. And with Stockton, you have the opposite. You have someone super fast that can steal the ball, that can shoot the three, and then you have obviously Karl Malone to rebound and pass it back out to you. So I went with Karl Malone. I hate the Utah Jazz with all my heart, but again, this team in NBA Jam is one of my 3 that I pick when I do play them because, again, how good they are. But again, Charles Barkley was right up there too because he is like one of the best in the game, and he almost does the same thing. But just the player that you play as, not as good at the 3-pointer as Stockton. So I kind of went with the more yin and yang, and what a teammate's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the opposite of you, and fix what you can't do, kind of thing like that. And that's pretty much what he does in that game. And again, something a little different, little opposite of what we were kind of going with. So don't expect this anywhere. And thought I had a little fun with this one, so we're gonna go with him for my number 5.
And what game was that again?
NBA Jam Tournament Edition.
I did not know
NBA
about
Jam.
that one.
Yeah, NBA Jam TE, whatever. People call it different things. So
okay, yeah. Similarly, I started off. I put the ones that were like not actual like party members towards the bottom of my list. So I'll be starting with non-RPG characters as well. But a sports game is not something it's definitely not something I expected to hear on anybody's list tonight.
Yeah. I saw teammate and I'm like, if I play this guy all the time, that's definitely my teammate. And I definitely do this with him. Like, that definitely works. Because if I didn't have a good teammate in that game, then you just get blown out of the water. Even though that the CPU controls it, but still, you need somebody that has at least some stats.
That's a good pick. So this version of NBA Jam, was this a arcade cabinet, or did you have it on like Genesis or Dreamcast?
Both. It was on Super Nintendo and Genesis, as long as 32X, all of them like that. So it was just the updated version with updated rosters of the original one. So yeah, it had more players, more cheats, more codes, more everything. It was just pretty much instead of calling it NBA Jam 2, they just called it Tournament Edition. Granted, eventually down the line there was more like that, but it was the next iteration of the game.
Okay. Yeah,
Karl Malone is a controversial pick, I would say.
Like I said, it's up there. I mean, that team's pretty good in that way. And like I said, I wanted to go with Barkley, but
I'm talking about his off-court stuff.
Yeah.
No, that's why I didn't want to even say that. I'm going with pure game, pure that. Like I said, not a fan of the Utah Jazz. He can do what he wants to do. Not a fan of him, but again, if we're playing an arcade video game and he's on my team, that's totally fine. His digital self is fine. Personal, I'm not going to go anywhere near that kind of stuff.
Yeah, one of my honorable mentions, outside of video games, like in real life, he's kind of a piece of crap, but in video games, he's awesome.
Yeah. Starting off strong there, Jason.
I know, as always. It gets better, trust me.
Yeah, as we talked about on arcade. Let's see, when was that? Didn't we do top 5 arcade games? Or was that a
no?
We talked about that on Party Chat. That was Party Chat. So, but okay. So I was like, I swear we talked about top 5 arcade games. But no, I think I made a list already for when we do a top 5.
Yeah, we were talking about it that way.
It was Party Chat that we actually just talked about some of our favorites. So yeah, as I said on that episode of Party Chat, I never big on the arcade games. I just never really got much chance to play a lot of them, but I always saw NBA Jam, and on the I do remember seeing, when no one's playing, it's just like showing like a demo of it. I do always remember seeing John Stockton and Malone and the Jazz team running around in the little like demo trying to entice you to play the game.
There you go.
Yep.
Utah Jazz, a place known for jazz.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where the Jazz went there because, in Utah, no one loves music, so they had to name their team after it. Well,
the Mormons, they're known for their excessive drinking and jazz music.
Oh, absolutely. That's why moving franchise is so smart. We're, in Los Angeles, known for their lakes.
Exactly.
Yep. For reals. Oh, and Amon Ra is here saying, moo. What's up, Amon Ra? Good
moo,
evening.
moo.
Good to see you as always. So, yeah, if you just missed, we just started with Jason's number 5 pick, and that was Karl Malone from NBA Jam Tournament Edition. So, he started us off with a bit of a surprise, we'll say.
Yes, I would say so, too.
So, but yeah, as I mentioned right at the beginning, it is not necessarily just party members, but also characters that may be in a game that help you throughout the game and for a level or a game, but someone who is in the gameplay and works with you to get you to the end goal. So, Carl, what about you? What is your number 5?
So I'm just gonna spoil a little bit. All RPG characters.
Okay,
I know
I
you're
had a
shocked.
feeling you're going to be all RPG characters.
But I said I made a note. You can't romance any of them.
Oh,
So-
interesting twist. Okay.
So I sat down and I was thinking a little bit long and hard, and I came up with I think a decent list. And my number 5 favorite companion comes from Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and Serana is her name.
Oh, was she in the Dark Brotherhood?
Dawnguard DLC.
Dawnguard. Okay, that's right. I remember that character now.
Yeah, Serana is the one that everyone wanted to romance, and then they were quickly disappointed when they found out they couldn't. I just like her story a lot. I think she's got a very interesting storyline, obviously being the daughter of a purebred vampire, one of the first vampire ladies out there. You discover her. She's doesn't know how much time has passed in Skyrim since she was imprisoned. And you find out like this whole crazy plot and the whole storyline that goes on with it. And she's just a fun character, She's pretty witty. She's constantly trying to find herself. She's, not afraid to, talk down to you when need to, but also kind of be like a sympathetic ear as well.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah, that's exactly. I just pulled it up. That's exactly who I thought you were talking about. So yeah, I had forgotten about her because it's been so long since I played Skyrim, but I definitely understand.
Mm-hmm. So I know the name, but again, I didn't play much Skyrim, like any Elder Scrolls stuff. But I know the name from my friends that play it.
Yeah, she was a DLC character because it was like the first major expansion, and that expansion is really good for storyline, plot points, and everything else. And she's a very sturdy companion too, very powerful. Her AI is very reactive to combat, so she's definitely one of the better ones to have with you, comparatively speaking to like everyone else.
Here we go. There we go. So,
yeah, that's her.
Yep. So yes, the Dawnguard DLC in Skyrim is you can either, well, I guess you have 3 options, but you can either join the vampires and become a vampire, or you can join the werewolves and fight against the vampires, or I think you can not take either and just remain normally human.
Well, if you don't get werewolf, like werewolf is from a different quest, but if you have like already have the werewolf disease, you can choose to become a vampire, and then they remove the lichen abilities. And another thing too, this DLC did give you a skill tree for your werewolf and your vampire forms.
That's right. That's what it was. I think I had lycanthropy and I ditched it to join the vampires when I played this.
Yeah, and the game offers you it twice. So even if you skip the first time, the second time you can get the vampire abilities.
Nice. All right. So cool. All right. So when you mentioned on your list that none of them are romanceable, I looked at my list and only one of mine is a romanceable option, and it depends on how you play the game, obviously. So unintentionally, I basically have the same thing. With the exception of one. So, all right. So for my number 5, as I mentioned, I put my non-RPG characters down at the bottom of my list. And so that my RPG characters who are actual party members are at the higher on the list. But I would probably put this one higher just because he's so cool. And so this is... so my number 5 is BT7274. Do either of you guys know who that is?
No.
I'm sure from a Star Wars game.
No, it is not.
Oh, I have no idea.
It is your mech that you play through in Titanfall 2.
Oh, dang. I was about to say that when you said mech.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, Titanfall. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know the name of it. That's actually cool. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
I forgot his
That's
number.
really
But you
cool.
basically just refer to him throughout the campaign as BT for short. So I don't remember his numbers. But yeah, the mech that you play through Titanfall 2 as, he's got his own AI, and he's you work together because you go through some of the campaign on foot, some of it inside controlling him, but sometimes you're outside and he's like doing his own thing, like trying to help and you're working together. So, and he's got a great personality, and that is just a really just that campaign in general is really good, and it's on my backlog because I've already gotten all the achievements, but I want to go back and play through it again just because it's a really fun, cool campaign. I haven't played it in years, but he's a cool character, and if it was coolness factor, he might be number one. But I put it down at 5 just because he's not like not an actual party member, but he is essentially your squad mate for the game, and he's helps you get through some sticky situations, fight some other big mechs, and he's just a cool character, fun game, great campaign. So they're definitely made up for not having a campaign at all in Titanfall 1 by putting in one of the best in Titanfall 2. So
how's the romance option with him?
That is not the romanceable option. You'll know the romanceable option when we get to it.
Oh boy.
Although I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of weird fanfic out there between your pilot and BT, and it was probably written by Melee K. So
it was written by somebody.
I doubt she'll watch this, but I'll have to clip that out and send it her way. Be like, more fanfic for K, BT, and the pilot from Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone hasn't played the Titanfall 2 campaign, I definitely recommend it. It's not very long. I think it's only like 6 to 8 hours. It's pretty short, and it's a great campaign. So I definitely
it's about standard.
And it is on Game Pass via EA Play. So if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you have access to Titanfall 2. So, all right, now let's go. So, all right, well, with number 4, Carl, you want to kick us off with number 4?
Yeah, my number 4 comes from the Persona series.
I knew Persona was going to be on there somewhere.
Had to get one, and I think that the only one that belongs here is a fan favorite, Koromaru. And Koromaru, if you don't know who he is, he's a dog.
Which Persona is this from?
He's from Persona 3.
Persona 3.
And Persona 3 is my favorite Persona, as everyone probably knows by now.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the companions in Persona 3 is a dog called Koromaru. And Koromaru actually helps you and fights with you on your quest. He has the ability to summon a Persona. And it's actually a pretty good one. It has 2 archetypes. It's a little Hades, Cerberus dog. And he's just fun. Everyone loves him. You can take him for walks. He interacts with people. He's always barking. Everyone's like always worried about him. Like, especially when he takes a hit, they're like, "Oh no, Koro, what are you doing?" And gone.
He's the goodest of boys.
Yes, he is the bestest of boys. I wanted to have, I felt like dog meat was possible to make this list, but then I'm like, you gotta have Koromaru on here. And I don't know, it's like I said, he's got a very sad story. He is the dog of a Buddhist priest who got hit by a car and died.
Oh.
And he was there, and he still goes to the temple every now and then to guard it. And yep, there he is. There's Koromaru.
He does look like a good boy.
Yeah, he's got little wings on his jacket too, which it makes it even better.
That's really cool, yeah.
I actually one of the collector's editions for one of the Persona 3DS games came with a stuffed animal of him, and I actually still have it.
That's awesome. I gotta say, they have to have this. I mean, you can see my back. I have Benny the dog from Maximilian stuff, and behind me they have to have a plush dog of that.
Yeah, so I always bring him with me into my party, just because he's fun, and like I said, he's like a team player, He's like one of those dogs he kind of reminds me of a Pokemon, where it's like he can understand what you're saying, but you can't really understand what he's saying besides from a few barks and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just like the mascot guy, Like he's ready to throw down, and he's also ready to just go for a walk and hang out,
Excellent pick. Or when you said he can understand you can't understand him, it also reminded me of Stewie.
Yeah. Play Persona 3. Any Persona 3, as I always say.
So Koromaru. Okay. Given how much I know you love Persona, I knew Persona had to be on here somewhere. I'm pretty sure I threw a character on the thumbnail for Persona as well.
I don't know.
But
forgot.
I was looking through Persona characters to figure out which one to put on the thumbnail, and I saw that there's also like a little cat character as well.
Yeah. Oh, I'm blanking. I only know his codename Momo.
Oh, from 4, right? I didn't play
No,
4.
5.
Five.
Persona
You're right.
5.
5. Yeah, sorry. 4 is the one I've actually played a little bit of.
Yeah, I'm blanking. But yeah, no, there's a cat guy in Persona 5, but he's not as cool.
Okay, yep, I did. I don't know which character it is, but I grabbed a Persona character for the thumbnail.
Yeah, catchy.
It's probably from Persona 5, though.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know
is.
anything about Persona.
And then Teddy was from Persona 4, but Teddy is like a weird thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, yeah. All right, Kokomaru. Yeah, he definitely looks like a good boy, and I would love to have him in my party. And him having a kunai there in his mouth reminds me of, unfortunately, this giant dog who wields a sword in Dark Souls that I had to slay recently on one of my.
Surf or Sif?
Yeah, Sif. It was either my most recent Dude Souls or the one before that, but it was one of my last 2 episodes. I had to fight Sif, and I didn't want to, but I had to. But this
He's got a cool statue, like an actual like cool statue, which is I think it's from Gaming Heads or one of those companies where it's like a $500 statue. It's awesome looking.
Are you talking about Koromaru or Sif?
Sif.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool statues out there for characters from video games. It's like, if only I had a lot of expendable income.
And the space.
That too. So, all right. All right. Well, I think I'll go with my number 4, and then we'll head to Jason for his number to finish off the number 4. So, for me, the next one I got here is also not a RPG party member, but is a character that escorts you through. Let's see here. I guess not escort, but you partake half of the game with them, and then in the follow-up game, you basically go through the whole game together, and you become best bros, saving the galaxy from the flood, and that is the Arbiter. Voiced by one of my favorite voice actors in video games. I just blanked on his name.
Keith David.
Thank you. It's like, I remembered it right as you said it. Keith David, also voices Anderson in Mass Effect, and he's done a lot of other voice work as well.
Spawn,
but those are my favorite roles.
Saints Row, Vice President Keith David.
Gargoyles, he was Goliath in Gargoyles.
Goliath, yeah.
I remember that. But yeah, great voice actor. I love basically everything that he's ever done. Both,
been in my life more than my own dad.
Both in voice work and in movies and stuff. But yeah, Arbiter, I was watching James play. He was playing Halo 2 last night, like the uncut version, where they apparently like modded in the parts that they actually cut out of the game in development. And one of the missions he was playing is where you're the Arbiter, because you go to fight the heretic, and in the actual Halo 2 that we got, you kill him at the end of that level. But in the uncut version, what was supposed to happen is he was supposed to escape down to a planet, and then you go fight his forces and fight your way to him. And so, it puts a little bit more story behind Arbiter's journey to discovering the truth that, the prophets are lying to you, and they're not, gods, and the great journey is, not what the prophets say it is. So he comes to that realization, and then you join forces with almost said Commander Shepard with Master Chief.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be great. Admiral Anderson and the Arbiter versus the Flood and the Reapers. But Arbiter joins forces with Master Chief, and you help get rid of the Flood and become, bros. And the Arbiter, he's great. He has a great story from, failing at what he was supposed to be doing to learning the truth, and then fighting against the Covenant for their lives and stuff. So great character and a great voice actor behind it. So that was my number 4, was the Arbiter. And I just realized I didn't pull it up, but I think everyone knows the Arbiter. So good one. Anything you guys want to say about the Arbiter?
No, great character in Killer Instinct. That's all I'll say. It was sweet to
Arbiter
have
was
him in
in
there.
Killer Instinct?
Yeah.
I had no idea, but I don't do fighting games, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great introduction to the series. Definitely sprung up the production value of Halo 2 to have like a much more in-depth story, and was probably one of the first games I can remember too that had the we're gonna have two dueling protagonists and kind of like the bait and switch for at least for me as a kid. I'm not making a general statement. It's probably been done plenty of times before that, but it's like one of those weird ones for me as a kid where it's like, oh, I get to play as an elite. That's wild.
Yeah. Okay. It definitely has more impact because the other games that I remember from not quite that early, but soon thereafter that did that were the Modern Warfare games. You jump around between different people, but that doesn't really change anything because all the characters in Call of Duty, at least back then, were basically nameless grunts. It's like I have no idea who I'm playing, switching
Soap,
between,
Roach,
and
Ghost.
they don't have different abilities or anything, so it really makes no difference. But when you switch between Master Chief and the Arbiter, it actually changes the gameplay because one of the main things is that the Arbiter has the stealth camo armor, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so all right, Jason, what is your number 4?
So sticking with the weird and wackiness, I'm going with Captain Commando from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. If you ask a lot of people who play the game, there are 2 characters in the game that are really, really good assist-based characters. And the game's pretty much based on who can rush people down and who can, call out their assists to keep things going. So I had to choose between the characters that are just pretty much... He's okay if you play him, but if you have one character left and he's your character, he's pretty much done for. But he has a very, very good assist, and it's his anti-air one, so it's called Captain Corridor. So, I mean, if you say Captain Commando, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, people will be like, okay, I know that assist, kind of thing like that. So it was tough between to choose him and Psylocke, but I chose him instead because I know as an assist-based teammate, he's better to choose than he is Psylocke because Psylocke's actually a better character overall in people's opinion. So like that. So I had to choose the worst of them, but the better teammate assists than, as you play him, kind of thing like that. So I was trying to think of ways to kind of go around it. And it's like, hey, if you have Captain Commando on your team and he's your assist, you're good. If you play him, you suck. You're in trouble. So that's how I chose him over the other characters.
Okay, I've never even heard of this character before.
Yeah.
So, what is he? Is he from Marvel or is he a Capcom character?
He's originally Capcom's mascot. That's why it's called Captain Commando.
I've never even heard of him before.
Yeah, he was the original Capcom mascot. And the story is that he turns evil later in life because they ditch him because he wasn't as cool as they thought he was. Because, I mean, as you can see in his face, like, that's the whole Capcom thing is, blonde hair, sunglasses, a little robot style stuff. It's going to catch on. His game never really caught on. So
there is a Captain Commando game.
Yeah.
What was that on?
The arcade.
Oh, it was an arcade.
It was a beat 'em up.
Okay. So like I said, I don't do fighting games, so I know of the franchise and I know of a lot of the characters, but in MVC 2, that's widely considered to be the best of the MVC games, right?
To a lot of people, yes.
Okay. So are all the characters that you have as like assist characters also playable characters, or are there characters that are only assist characters?
So every character is an assist character and a playable character, but some of the characters that you play are really good as like your starting person because you have a team of 3. Okay. Some characters are really, really good to be like, hey, this is the guy to build meter. This is what I want to do kind of thing. And then there's characters that are cool. I just have this character because I just want to hit the assist button whenever it's ready to go to open somebody up, or B, to, continue combos, to, set things, in motion kind of thing like that. And like I said, he is the one that a lot of people pick to do that. And like I said, Psylocke's another one too. But she's, like I said, she's more really good at rushdown. I mean, there's a lot of good assists in the game, but like usually this is like the one that people go to. But again, it all just depends on team synergy and all that kind of stuff and what you're doing. In the game to try to help you do stuff.
Okay. All right. So, well, yeah. Obviously, I didn't know anything about this character, so I don't really have much to say. But he does look like a cool character. So
yeah. There's some pretty fun. Like if you just type in Captain Commando and look him up, there's some really fun things about the character. But like I said, he's a really, really good assist character in the game. But again, I had a feeling nobody was going to know that one except for the people that were, would play the game. And again, I've been playing on a decent amount of Marvel lately too. So like when this came up, I'm like, man, he's a pretty good teammate, but not part of my team, but he's a pretty good teammate. So I had to give him some love.
He's better as an assist character than he is as a playable character.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
That's hilarious. So did you ever play the Captain Commando game?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like I said, it's another one of those, like I said, quarter muncher beat 'em ups when Capcom was doing their final fights and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was just one of those.
All right.
Right.
Carl, did you know about this character at all?
I might have, but I'm also blanking really hard. Was he in number 3 as well, or was it just 2?
No, he was in 3.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm trying to remember because I just think of. Well,
I'm blanking now too. Actually, they might have got rid of him.
Because I think of Biotic Commander.
Oh, no, yeah.
That's who I think of.
Oh, Biotic
Commando. Yeah.
Yeah,
was he?
That's who I think.
An NBC or game, or are you just getting mixed up with him?
No, see, no, he wasn't in 3. That's the joke. Bionic Commando kind of stole his spot.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, because they're pretty much kind of close in a way, a little bit. So yeah, there's some. That's what it was.
Is Bionic Commando, was that Capcom?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I played my first introduction to Bionic Commando was I had Bionic Commando Elite Forces on Game Boy Color. And then I really liked that game. Yeah, published by Capcom. And then when they released I just thought about that. Like a remaster of, I believe it was the original one on Xbox Live Arcade, which was Bionic Commando Rearmed. That was a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
And then I played the 3D one, and everyone said it sucked. It was okay. It wasn't. I didn't think it was as bad as everyone said.
Mediocre at best.
Yeah, mediocre. It has a really dumb plot twist.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of, I swear I just had it. I saw something about Bionic Commando Rearm 2, which they added the jump ability, which kind of ruined the game. But I picked it up anyways because it went on super cheap sale. It's on sale for $3 right now on Xbox. But yeah, so all right. On to our number 3s. Let's see. I had 33, 40. So all right, well, I'll go ahead and start off for number 3. So all right, so for the rest of mine here are all actual RPG party members. So my number 3 is from one of, if not the only, no, not only, because the sequel I also enjoyed, but as pretty much everyone knows from me, I am not a fan of turn-based RPGs. I like more real-time, like Skyrim and Mass Effect. But the one turn-based RPG that 2 technically, but they're in the
words,
same,
Neo, words.
They're in the same series, so I say one, but I mean both of them. But I did like the first one more. But the one turn-based RPG that I did really like were the South Park games. So, and both Stick of Truth and Fractured But Whole were both turn-based, but I did like Stick of Truth a little bit better. And but my number 3 is he's in both, but I enjoyed him much more in Stick of Truth than I did in Fractured But Whole, and that is Butters.
Yes.
He was my favorite. No matter what, he was always in my party because he is the one. He was basically my healer because you can spend his turn to either heal himself or one of your teammates. And I would always try to have my character be the tank and the DPS so that I draw the aggro, and then he would the one that would heal me and keep me alive. And I just love Butters' character in South Park in general. He's hilarious.
He's my favorite South Park character.
Oh, hamburgers.
Yeah, he's just so funny, and everyone just walks all over him. But he's just I just love him as a character. But in Stick of Truth, I think his character is a paladin.
Yes.
And it was always really annoying when I wasn't aggroing and they would damage him, and so I have to spend all the time using the healing on himself because I want him to, I wanted to be the one taking the damage so he can heal me. But yeah, I would always use him to keep myself and my squad alive, so that I could use my abilities to take out the opponents. But yeah, Butters was always great, and I just like I said, he's just a great character, and I love him. And he's a bro, always keeping the new kid alive. And let's see here, I forget what the ranks were, but your name in Stick of Truth, if you haven't played it, is Douchebag. So
that's a good one.
He became my friend, even though I was dubbed Douchebag. So
it sounds like a Butters thing.
So, did you guys play the South Park RPGs?
Christmas time comes once a year.
Yeah, I played the first one, but I didn't play the second one or the third one or whatever it was. Or was it the third one?
There's
two
of them. Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole. Yeah.
Yeah, so I played Fractured. Stick of Truth. I played Stick of Truth. That's the one I played.
Yeah, Stick of Truth is basically based on Dungeons and Dragons, and then Fractured Butthole is all about like superheroes and their abilities. Yeah. They did have a recent South Park game that came out within the last year, but that's
Snow Day.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's the third one I was thinking
RPG, though. That plays more like the old N64 one, where it's like a battle royale type of thing.
The best game ever.
I never played it, but I heard that N64 South Park game was terrible.
To people who are uncultured, maybe.
Get to throw snowballs at people.
Yeah, and piss snowballs too.
Yes.
I didn't know about that. I never actually even watched South Park, and probably until probably about 10 years ago was the first time I actually watched South Park.
What the hell's wrong with you? Who are you?
So I never really had the nostalgia for it. So, but I have watched since then. I've watched the first 2 or 3 seasons, and then I've seen basically season 10 and on. But season 3 to 10, I haven't seen anything in there.
It's funny going from season 1 and 2 and just watching the animation, and then you go to jump that 10 seasons. You're like, holy crap, kind of thing like that. That's one of my favorite things to see.
It's like The Simpsons and all those other old ones too. Yeah,
absolutely.
Same thing with Family Guy. And you go back and watch the early seasons, and it looks just weird. And you got the different voice actor for Meg. And it's like, oh, this is just weird.
Yeah, that lady must be kicking herself in the pants.
So, yeah, Butters from Stick of Truth, my number 3.
So, hamburgers.
Oh, hamburgers. So, all right, Jason. What about you? What is your number 3?
Yeah, Jason.
All right. So my number 3 is going to be my first from an RPG, and it's going to be from a turn-based. I think, he's definitely my favorite character in this game, and we're going to go to Chrono Trigger and Frog.
I knew that.
Yeah, Frog is my number 3. His music is so awesome. His character design is awesome. If you haven't played the game, his plot is probably one of the coolest in the game. And if you want to get some really cool endings with him, there's some cool things that you can do with him to actually kind of see what this frog that can carry a sword that, really can't say much, but you really want to know the story that, he does a really good job at telling. There's a lot of really cool things about it. Again, play the game. I can easily spoil some stuff, but it's always fun with this character to see what's going on if you play it and you do some of the for sure one of the tasks that I know I didn't do when I first played it because I didn't look at the strategy, but when I found that out, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the smartest and coolest thing ever. So he is the coolest by far.
So yeah, I know how much people absolutely love Chrono Trigger. Um, so I did also throw a Chrono Trigger character on the thumbnail as well.
Mhm,
But I don't know anything about
Merle?
Chrono Trigger other than like people love it, and it's a lot of people's like favorite RPG like of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I think
threw
you put
Merle on
Marley or Marley or Marl. You never hear the thing, so I always call it Merle or Marley. So it's one of the two.
But yeah, I figured that was probably going to show up tonight, given how highly respected Chrono Trigger is as a game.
Mhm. But yes, if you haven't played it, I know it's turn-based. Play it. I wish they would do another. I wish they could come out and not just be stuck on a DS or Super Nintendo, but
It's on PC.
yeah, that PC version's a little weird.
It's also on PlayStation 3 back and pat too.
Is it? I didn't know that one.
Yeah, it actually is.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah, you can still buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a Super Nintendo game, but I don't know what else it's on.
Yeah. I have my Super Nintendo account copy over there, but no joke, I literally just keep it in my Super Nintendo 3DS at all time, just because.
Oh, so they did re-release it on 3DS. Okay.
Yeah. And this is one of the better versions. Get in there, camera.
A lot of people say that the 3DS version is the best version.
It is. It really is.
It's also super expensive.
Yeah. That is true too.
Hey, Nerdporial is here saying, I saw Gino in the thumbnail. What's up, Nerdporial? Yeah, I just threw some random party members on there from a bunch of different franchises. So whether Super Mario RPG is going to get mentioned tonight, we will have to wait and see. But good to see you.
Spoiler alert. No.
All right.
Sorry. He was close. Sorry. He was close. He was very, very close. When we get to honorable mentions, you'll see he was my number 6. So if you were here for number 5, you can see who beat him out. So there's
All right. Well, at least we'll get a mention. Super Mario RPG will get a mention in honorable mentions. But yeah, not on my list either. So sorry if that disappointed you, Nerdporial. So but
it was tough. It was tough to cut him, but yeah, he had to be cut.
He's from Chicago. He's used to disappointment.
It's true. Yeah.
All right, that was Jason. So I didn't write it down. Frog. Chrono Trigger. As I said, I don't really know anything about this franchise, but then the sequel was on PlayStation as Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that's not anywhere near as good. Is that accurate?
Yes. Yes.
Never played it. Couldn't tell you, but I'm gonna go with Jason here.
Yeah, I can't say it's a disappointment, but it's hard to go from what that game did to what that game did, kind of thing. The cool thing about Chrono Trigger is, the videos, you actually can see everything, kind of thing like that. That's why that version's the best, because you actually get FMVs and everything like that. So.
Oh yeah, because I'd say a Super Nintendo game probably would not have FMVs.
No.
So, all right, Carl, what is your number 3?
My favorite, my number 3 is one of my top 5 Mass Effect companions, and it's very fitting because I would say he's probably number 3 or number 2 depending on a day, but also DLC character Javik from Mass Effect 3.
Oh, Javik, nice.
I adore Javik. Javik is my favorite space racist. So Javik is a Prothean from the Mass Effect universe, and he is the last of his kind. The Protheans were the race prior that the Reapers wiped out, and he's also one of the very culture shocking kind of people in that game. Basically blows a lot of lore, has a lot of memorable interactions with characters, and just kind of goes around just talking about how all these species used to be inferior, which I just find hilarious. He's got a funny accent. I kind of call it African warlord accent is what I like to call it. And it's very fitting because he is also a soldier not a scientist, not a politician, but an actual frontline soldier grunt, and basically just feels out of place in the universe with a lot of people's views on the Protheans. So I just love his design too, because we never really got like a good idea of what a Prothean looked like, and then he's just a really cool one. The 4 eyes kind of looks a little bit like a bug, a little bit like a shark, a little bit like a lizard, just all over the place. I love it. He makes me laugh all the time with just like his unnecessary like aggression and anger, and just his general like I don't care, I'm so flippant. And like I said, it's a very he's kind of like an elitist. That's the funny way to put it too, because the Protheans were very you know, how do you say this? Colonial.
Yeah, when I was on Carl's channel last week for talking Mass Effect, we were talking about we're mainly talking about Mass Effect 1, but we got into Mass Effect 2 and 3 a little bit and talked about Javik. And one of the things I mentioned on there was I got Mass Effect 3 on launch, and it wasn't the collector's edition, but it was like the special edition or something. It came with like all the launch bonuses, and one of those was it's From Ashes, right? That's the name of the DLC. Yeah, From Ashes DLC. I had no idea what it was, so I got home, plugged in the code that it gave me to install the DLC, and went off playing the game. I had no idea what it was. It wasn't until after I beat the game, and I was talking to someone, and they told me that Javik is a DLC character. So he's actually not even in the base game, and it blew my mind because I was like, how does this game even make sense without him in it? So I've never played it without him. So that was day one. DLC is that's EA corporate greed at its worst.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that he's so integral to the story, and he's a DLC character that you don't even have to have in your party or even in your game, blew my mind. But yeah, he's because up until the point where you beat him, everyone kind of has this headcanon about the Protheans, that they were this very nice, benevolent race, but they were not. When you wake Javik up, you find out a lot about how the Protheans were, and they didn't really, I wouldn't say enslaved is the right word, but they conquered all the other races in the galaxy and made them subservient to them.
Yes,
So,
basically.
The word that they use in the game, I think Liara says, I didn't realize the Protheans were so severe, is the term that she used. And
that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, so he's all serious, no gimmicks, but because of that, he can be unintentionally funny because he doesn't understand like the galaxy's norms and standards now, because it's different for him. And great character and very interesting character. And it was really cool when they introduced an actual living Prothean into Mass Effect 3's story. I'm like, that's awesome. So great pick.
Yeah, that's why I don't agree with people when they say Mass Effect 3 is bad.
Yeah, thank you. Carl's got my back. I'm always having to defend it from the likes of James and Kay.
It's because they don't understand Mass Effect.
Eventually, I'll get to you, and I'll see if I agree.
So, I look forward to you playing it as well. So, all right. Well, great pick. So, I guess that will lead us to our number 2s. And you know what? I think I will go ahead and start off our number 2s, because I will jump on the Mass Effect bandwagon. And my number 2 is also from Mass Effect. And it was, if we're being honest, if I didn't keep myself to the 1 per franchise rule that I typically do, this probably would have just been a list of Mass Effect party members, since that's my favorite game. And
when we get to my number 1, I have the same exact feeling. So like I had to really rope myself into doing this. So I completely understand.
There are just so many good characters in Mass Effect.
Yes, that's true.
We should do what Devil's doing right now is he's doing his Get Ranked, where he ranks as a group. We should totally do that sometime for like just the Mass Effect characters.
I was thinking about doing that next year.
Okay, well, let's do it on your channel. I definitely would love to just rank the Mass Effect squad mates. That'd be great.
Yeah, I gotta get one more person on.
So yeah, count me in for that. But I bet you probably already were.
Of course.
So Mass Effect's my favorite franchise, and there's just so many great characters. So it was a difficult choice. But I we talked about I don't remember what episode it was, but on a party chat a couple of months ago, we talked about like best bros in gaming, and this was also my answer for that question as well. So I was like, I gotta go with my boy Garrus. He's one of the only two characters. I realized this when I was on Carl's channel last week. I thought there was only one character that you can have as a squad mate through all three Mass Effect games, but there are two. But he's one of two characters that you can have as a squad mate through the entire trilogy.
Technically three.
Technically three.
Technically three.
Are you counting Edie since she's in
No.
all three of them?
No, Liara technically counts.
Okay. Because she joins you for the DLC. And
That's why I said it's
two.
technically.
Right. Okay. So with an asterisk, one of only two characters that can be your squad mate through basically the entirety of the whole game of all three. Yeah. So thank you for that clarification. But yeah, my man Garrus, he is. I mean, no one can say anything bad about Garrus because he's the best bro in the galaxy. Always got your back. And he's just so cool to hang out with, even when you're not, covering each other's backs in the middle of battle. He's just the best of the best. So, I can't really say a whole lot. We did go into depth about all the characters, and I talked a lot more about Garrus last week on Carl's channel.
Yeah, we definitely did have a really fun conversation. Just I even said on we talk about Garrus. It's like he's just that guy that just wants to do right.
Yeah, flawed but great character. You both help each other. Pull each other up by your bootstraps when things are looking dour. I'm going to link that stream over on Carl's channel in the stream description. So if anybody wants to go watch that afterwards, you can go check that out because that was a great stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, Garrus is an awesome character. And when he's revealed in Mass Effect 2, that was I would say like plot reveals. Probably number one would be the Sovereign discussion in Mass Effect 1 on Vermeer. But
still mind blowing.
When you find out who Garrus is masquerading as in Mass Effect 2, that was freaking awesome. I love his reveal in Mass Effect 2. So
yeah, I even love the how your Shepard reacts. He's like, Garrus, hey, what are you doing here? You silly old goat, you.
So, Carl, what else you want to say about Garrus? Since Jason hasn't played Mass Effect, so he probably doesn't have a whole lot of input on this one.
Like I said, Garrus is just one of those like very interesting characters if you play as either a guy or a girl, because you can romance him as a woman. And
this is the one that you can romance if you're playing as FemShep. So all my other ones you can't romance, but this one you can.
And like I said it before in the show, I could give more in-depth thoughts, but just from what I can remember, it's just like, yeah, you just get to see this guy grow. You get to like learn a lot about like his sense of honor, his pride, and him trying to figure out like himself as a character and just how he fits into this world. He's a guy trying to do right, and he always, tries to do better with himself in many ways, shape, and form. And when you romance him as like female Shepard, it is a very touching romance. I'll say that much.
So
there's a reason why that BioWare gave him a body pillow.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
I did not know that, but that does not surprise me in the least.
I have a Tally body pillow. Didn't I ever tell you that?
You did not.
I thought I did.
But that makes sense, because when we were talking about all the characters in Mass Effect, I found out last week that Tally is Carl's go-to romance.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone who doesn't know Garrus, this is Garrus. He is a Turian, and he is awesome.
Yes. I really wish I could have bought his statue.
He does have a really good design. I like the design.
Yeah. Especially when you get like the DLC costume for Mass Effect 2 for him. Oh, that's so cool. It's like black, and he's got like I think 2 of those little visor things.
See, I'm a sucker for the one. It reminds me of like the Saiyan Scouters.
Yeah.
Anytime I see like a design with like the one little piece, I'm like, oh man, that looks really, really cool.
The Scouters for DBZ, or I don't know if it's just DBZ, but for Dragon Ball definitely makes sense. I was never into it, so I never watched it. But when I see like a little eyepiece, it reminds me of the original Perfect Dark, because you basically have that.
Oh yeah.
And it feeds data directly into your retina. So That's what I think of when I see stuff like that.
I think Spy
Mhm.
Kids.
I never saw any of the Spy Kids.
Spy Kids, yeah. Yeah.
Like his glasses have like the super zoom. You check your stream elements.
Oh shoot, I did. I normally
Just thanks, Kyle.
stream.
That was my job, but I appreciate that. I was about to do the same thing.
I normally stream a different way so that I get notifications, but I totally forgot to. So if there's
So to
something
answer
there-
Nerporial's question, we have not, because he did not set it up correctly. Sorry, Nerporial, but you'll probably be doing that right now.
Holy shnikes, dear Lord. Nerdporial just tipped $50. Holy crap.
Oh wow.
Thank you, dude. That is freaking amazing. Yeah. So normally what I've been doing on panel streams is I do it through OBS so that if I do happen to get a tip, it pops up. I totally forgot to do that tonight. So I totally apologize. That was totally on me. Again, I screwed up so many times on this stream. That is entirely on me. But holy crap, Nerporial Lifeform. Thank you so much. That is freaking amazing. I seriously appreciate that so much, man. That is awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for that, and thank you for just watching and being part of the chat. That's the other thing too. Thank you so much.
So,
Yeah,
I
you,
was
Brian.
I was pulling up other stuff, so I didn't even have the chat up. So I apologize for missing that. But he's saying that the ending in Mass Effect 3 is bad. Yes, I completely agree. But I think everything leading up to it is fantastic. The fight with Harbinger was lame.
No
yes.
fight with Harbinger.
Oh, no fight with Harbinger, lame. Yeah, that's my main criticism of Mass Effect 2 is that the one like boss fight you do at the end was a bit lacking as well. And yeah, you don't fight Harbinger, but understand. And yeah,
Playing on the highest difficulty, and then you change your mind.
So that is awesome, man. Thank you so much. That I'm just blown away. So I will, whenever, as you probably know, anytime I do get a tip, except outside of my Mass Effect streams, those are specifically for Mass Effect. But any time other than that, that gets a spin on whenever my next roulette stream is. So I greatly appreciate that, dude. That is.
And then if Nerporial's there with a tip like that, mention what your favorite party member is in chat so you can be a part of this list. Because with a thing like that, I think you should have a little say in what we're doing. So if you in chat want to put yours list down, I'll write that down. We can definitely talk about that too. And you can be part of the list, because thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. If you want to let us know what your top 5 are, or just what your top 1 is, absolutely, and we'll talk about it. So, thank you so much, man. That is amazing. I'm totally blown away, and I greatly appreciate that. So let me pull up my spreadsheet here so I can write it down. Where I don't even remember where I put it because it's been. Is this here? Yeah, there it is. Okay, got a Nerdporial $50 tip. Thank you, man. That is amazing. So, yeah. So, yeah, if you want to go ahead and put in any of your picks, let us know, and we will touch on that. I'm just kind of shocked and blown away, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say other than thank you so much. That I did not expect anything. So any little bits here and there are always appreciated. So, and I will next time on my next panel stream, I have been doing it so that notifications will pop up, although I haven't gotten any notifications. And then tonight I forget to do it, and then there was a notification.
That's usually what happens.
So I apologize for that. I'm trying to do better about it. So I don't even know if I've got any more panel streams besides next week's top 5 before the end of the year. Panel. Oh yeah, I do have one more but I'll talk about that at the end. But everybody gets one. Well, thank you so much, Nerdporial. I greatly appreciate it. You're a good bro, and I always love hanging out with you and chatting with you and seeing you in chat. And yeah, you rock, man. So, all right. Let's see here. Where were we? My number 2 is Garrus. And oh, that's right. I started off number 2s. Oh, and Nerdporial saying I always had Garrison party, right? Exactly. Always say I gotta have Garrus in your party because he's just such a great party member.
He is. He's great.
So that's right. I started off number 2, so we have both of you guys. So Let's see here. Jason, what about your number 2?
All right, my number 2 is going to be probably the most important character in this game, and that is the game Resident Evil 4. So my number 2 is the Merchant from Resident Evil 4. If he was, if he exactly, if he wasn't there to sell you the goods, to make you buy whatever, it would be a very, very difficult game. So I thought to myself, like, man, that's a really good teammate. He sells you stuff to make your life so much easier. He shows up in these random spots somehow faster than you. He has got all these wares for you to buy, and man, some of those things are pretty important for later on in the game, except for, I mean, technically all you need is just the flash grenades. But I mean, that's just something, you find out later on in the game, kind of thing like that. But yeah, no, that Merchant as a teammate, very, very good. I mean, better than the other technical teammate in Ashley, but we'll
I thought you were gonna say Luis.
Yeah. So Luis was another one. So actually, I was talking because I had another Resident Evil character. I think I was going to put on the list, and I was like, I went to my brother. I'm like, because obviously we're both Resident Evil fans, and we were just talking. I'm like, hey man, what about this character? What about this character? And then next thing you know, he was like, oh man, we're forgetting the most important one. What about the Merchant? I was like, holy crap, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, we were thinking like Steve. We were thinking, Barry. We were thinking, all these guys. Brad. We're thinking all these guys. And next thing we're like, no, those are guys are there and they help out. Yes, but I'm like, no, the Merchant actually helps you out. So then we end up. I'm like, that's perfect. I mean, that is exactly what this list would consist of. Is a person that's on there that literally helps you out, not someone that's in story wise helping you out, giving you nicknames or making you not a Jill sandwich or anything like that. I was like, no, this is actually a character. So so the Merchant ended up making it over Luis and all them too. So
that's a good one, Jason. That's a funny one.
It is,
and that's why I like it.
Yeah, definitely not something I would have thought of, but totally fits, and that is an excellent choice.
What are you buying? Yeah. What are you selling?
Got some new
goods for a high price. Yep. Come back anytime, stranger.
Yeah, and he's also been the subject of many, many memes. I've memed him myself, and I don't remember what it was, but I remember I took the, here with his coat open, I put a bunch of games in his jacket. And I don't remember. I think it was on the Melee Discord, but that was like a long time ago. I remember it was for DJ. I'll have to go find it. But yeah, definitely a great meme template right here as well. So,
yep.
And he's also from what Mark said on an episode of Party Chat, because I never actually finished Resident Evil 4. Because I got to the part where the regenerators show up, and basically the only way to kill them is you have to have the thermal scope, and the thermal scope only works on like 1 or 2 different guns, and I didn't like either of them, so I didn't have them. So I was like, I'd have to go run all the way back through the game to go get it, and I was just like, I'm not doing that, so I gave up on the game. And then in Party Chat a while back, Mark was like, you can just go buy what you need from the Merchant. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
So I probably still have that save file, so maybe I'll load it up and maybe I'll finish the game at some point.
Yeah, man, the regenerators are they are something. They are one of the enemies that are a pain in the butt in that game, but they are awesome designs and they are pretty fun.
They're so cool, especially when they kill you.
Oh yeah.
They just want hugs.
Oh, big hugs.
Yes,
but
like a Chicago crackhead.
That's what they sound like.
Chicago crackhead hug, exactly. But yeah, speaking of Resident Evil 4 and DJ, at some point, he's basically what I'm doing right now with Dark Souls, where Dude is coaching me through Dark Souls. At some point, we're gonna do the same thing, and DJ is gonna coach me through Resident Evil 4 because, like I said, I haven't finished it. And so when we do that, I'll be starting from the beginning, and he'll be guiding me through because I played it. Because I originally bought Resident Evil 4 on GameCube because everyone said like how amazing it was, and I literally couldn't play it because the controls were just so bad. So when they re-released it on Wii, I traded in my GameCube version for the Wii version, and that's the one I played through. I'm like, hey, I can actually aim now. The controls actually make sense. So actually, that's where I played through most of the game. So I've got my Wii. You can kind of see it. It's right behind my N64 here, plugged into the TV on the other side of that wall. So I could probably load it up and resume right where I left off. But at some point, we're gonna do, because I bought it on Steam because of DJ for like $5. So at some point, he's gonna coach me through it, and I'll do it on stream as well. So that'll be
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll probably get to that sometime next year. So, all right. So great pick for a number 2. Definitely one of those off the wall choices, but not one of those like James choices where it's like, no, that shouldn't be on the list. That totally makes sense.
Yep.
So
Again, it was tough for me because, like I said, when I talk about number 1, these numbers could have dropped down a lot because I had to contain myself for number 1. I had to.
So, all right, Carl, what is your number 2?
My number 2, I think, is also going to be a statement. And I'm going to go with everyone's favorite killing machine, and that's HK-47.
There he is. I was looking this up. I'm wondering, like, as I saw who was in the panel, I'm like, is he going to be in here twice? Because I had a feeling this is going to be one of those panels that, like, a lot of one-ofs kind of thing. But I'm like, that robot, if for what I've known so far, he might show up multiple times. But yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised he's that high, but I'm surprised so far only one time. But we'll see.
Yeah, obviously big BioWare fan, so it's not shocking that another BioWare character would make this list. And HK-47 kind of was like the precursor to a lot of the, Mass Effect lore, even with some of the way his voice mannerisms are, like where he's always has to add what his expressive nature is before he says it.
Oh, we talked about that on your stream last week when we were talking about the L-Core.
Yes, and you could feel like a lot of people really liked HK-47, just like making him, and I think it's all because of the lines and just how like deadpan, straightforward robot they are. But there's always some like weird, over the top like statement he has to make first, where it's like curious observation, oh master, or listen here, meat bags, and stuff like that. It's like there's something about having a anti-hero, I guess that's the best way to say it.
Yes.
And HK-47 is like the perfect example of just a homicidal robot who just wants to kill. And it's just great. It's just like straightforward. It's kind of like Hannibal Lecter in nature, It's just like, I could kill you at any moment and I'm going to show my wit and charm. But like you take out all the charm and just have the like straightforwardness of an autistic person, and that's what HK-47 is.
Yeah, I only played KOTOR once back when it was new-ish, so it was around 20 years ago. But I do remember how much I loved HK-47 as a character, and yeah, him always calling or not necessarily humans, but like organic, people, not robots, calling them meat bags was great. I don't remember, other than the meat bag things, I don't remember some of his lines. I just remember him being, like he's not trying to be funny, but he is.
Yeah, that's just what the thing is like I said, it's just like that unintentional humor. Like I say, I joke about it, where it's just like that just autistic level of like, I'm going to say my point and just get right to it. And I know I have to put a preference on it to just make sure you understand my like convey behind it. It's like, that's why I just love it. And like I said, someone really liked this guy's like voice line work and everything, and that's why they, I think, really made the L-Core the way they were. Because like I said, these were the same people who worked on KOTOR, worked on Mass Effect, so that I think like this guy was like a precursor for a whole species like character design in Mass Effect, and that's why I like it even more too.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out Knights of the Old Republic. About the voice actor, because I don't know anything about that voice actor. But one thing that I do know about HK-47, I learned this from James, is that his character model, they asked someone like, hey, just draw us like a robot that looks angry. And they came up with this, and they didn't do any revisions. They just took the first draft, and this was the character. So, shoot, it's not on here. So, yeah, I'm surprised. I don't know why I didn't even think to put a KOTOR character on the thumbnail. I totally should have done that. But I'm glad to see HK47 come up here because yeah, he was a fun, great character.
Yeah, it's hard to pick, one companion from each one. It's easier to do like top 5 from a video game sometimes.
Oh yeah,
And-
when you have everything, it's so tough.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a lot easier when you just like you got to set that stipulation of like no romance, and that helps out us so much more.
Yeah, that definitely narrows it down quite a bit.
And hello, Static. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
Yeah, what's up, Static? Yo, good to see you tonight, buddy. Hope you are doing well. I'm trying to. I'm on IMDb right now, and I'm finding the old. I typed Knights of the Old Republic, and it gives me Shadow of the Republic, some movie. It's like, no, give me Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, stupid. I'm trying to find. Let's see here. HK47, Christopher Tabori. Let's see if he's what else he's known for.
I was gonna say, we're gonna see if he was dead.
Nope, he is still alive.
That's good, at least.
And yeah, the other things that he's credited for, KOTOR 2, and a couple of nothing else. Yeah, very small list of characters that he's voiced. And what he has done has been kind of minor characters. So I'm almost surprised that he didn't do a voice role somewhere in a Mass Effect. So, but yeah, he did a great job with HK47. So, Stax has been a busy day, and I wasn't even getting ready for Turkey Day yet. So, but good to see you. Glad you could come hang out with us for a little bit. So, while we rank our favorite squad mates, party members, teammates, whatever you want to call it. So, all right.
Man. Yeah. Like I said, I just enjoy talking about companions in games because they really make the game. Like obviously gameplay is one of them, stories another, but it's also the people that you play with are sometimes the most memorable parts of any game.
Yeah,
I agree.
Totally. And Lowest Expectations is here as well, saying hello there. What's up, Lowest Expectations? Good to see you.
I just think of that Mad TV skit, Lowered Expectations. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah, with the dating.
Yeah.
I have seen some of those. Those are pretty funny.
I just want one with giant hands, like walnut crushing hands.
I wouldn't be able to quote any of it, but I do remember seeing some of those sketches.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, that will wrap it up for number 2. So, as usual, before we get into our number 1s, we go through our honorable mentions, and I have quite a few because there are a lot of good choices to pick from.
I don't have many, so I can run mine through quick when we start it.
All right. What about you, Carl? Do you have a lot, I assume?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. Lowest Expectations. Everyone tells me that, but I never saw it until recently.
Happy mistake. It's a good one.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, we'll start off our honorable mentions with Jason, then we'll go to Carl, and I'll finish this off because I got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All
That's
right.
a lot of meatballs.
So I'll get my number 6 out of the way because hopefully Napoleon's still there. But Gino is on my honorable mention. So
all right. Hey, there's a super
didn't crack the list. Barry Burton from Resident Evil. He was going to be my number. He was close on the list until the merchant knocked him out. And then one that I haven't mentioned yet.
Barry Burton. Who is that?
He was from the first one. He was the old guy that gives Jill the key or the lockpick and calls her the master of locking.
You're the master of unlocking.
Yeah, he's the one who saves Jill from being squished by the ceiling and does the Jill sandwich thing. Yeah, he's also he's also a pilot and all that stuff. So he also saves the crew when the whole thing happens there. If he, if you go down that ending and all that kind of stuff. So he's a pretty good. He's pretty. As I said, he was pretty good on that one. He was going to be lower on the list, but like I said, he got beat by somebody more deserving. And then one that I haven't mentioned yet, and I laugh at him every time I play this game, but it's from Metal Gear Solid, and I chose Otacon, just because some of the stuff that he does, it helps Snake. And I mean, the first time you meet him, he pees himself because of a ninja, but he still can find a way to get to oh man, I just forgot her name. Sniper Wolf. and all that kind of stuff like that. So Otacon's got some game, but he also is a pretty smart guy that helps out solid later on in the game too. So
Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about Metal Gear, so I had to look up Otacon. I've heard the name before, but I didn't know which character he was. But now I recognize
yeah,
him.
Otacon Hell Emmerich.
All right. So there you go, Nerdpro, if you're still there. Gino got a shout out in the honorable mentions.
Yeah.
All right, Carl, what about you? What are your honorable mentions?
First, I want to give a shout out because my wife just gave me these gummy candies that are peelable.
Peelable?
Yeah, so it's like they're like mango gummies, and like you can peel off the skin, and like it tastes like an actual mango. And then you can eat the skin, and it has a different flavoring. It's actually pretty wild. It's blowing my mind. Sorry about that. To get back on track.
Shout out to Mrs. RNG for the candy pick.
Yes. So getting back on track here, I guess I got only like really 3, and I just forgot who number 3 was, but I'll go with like the first 2. Hopefully it'll pop back. I want to give a shout out to Falco from Star Fox.
That is also one of my honorable mentions.
Yeah, he almost made the list. It was a 3-way race there, and I just kind of went with the Serana there because, like I said, number 1's easy. Number 5 always hard.
Yes.
Yep.
So that was a good shout out. Like I said, snarky characters usually are my favorite ones. So Falco is definitely the snarkiest.
I did not like Falco at first because I played the original Star Fox on Super Nintendo, and I was like, God, he's such a cocky, arrogant bastard. He carried it through to Star Fox 64, but over the years he grew on me, and I was like, I like this cocky bastard.
Yeah, you can't really go wrong with that. And then my other honorable mention, Clementine from the Walking Dead.
Okay.
Like that first season of The Walking Dead still holds a special place in my heart with Lee and Clementine. One of the few video game endings that actually made me cry, and like seriously out there, if you haven't played The Walking Dead season 1, like that just is purely good writing. And
yeah, the
I think
ending
season
is
2 is good as well, in my opinion.
yeah, no, that season 1 ending, yeah, holy cow.
Yeah, I've never actually watched the show, but I played all the Walking Dead games.
Not
all the Walking Dead, but all the Walking Dead Telltale games, I should say.
Yeah, the Telltale games, like those were like that was like their magnum opus, if you ask me, with season 1.
Yeah, for sure, they did a great job on that. Speaking of Walking Dead, I was going to mention this when we were talking about Mass Effect a few minutes ago, but in the 3rd season, New Frontier, I think is what it's called. There was a character that shows up. I'm like, God, his voice is familiar. And it took me a little while, but then I pinpointed and I had like, oh my God, that's Garrus. So in season 3 of the Walking Dead Telltale, there's a character named Jesus because he looks like Jesus. He's voiced by the same voice actor as Garrus. And I was like, oh my God. So when I had that light bulb moment, it was like, oh, that's freaking awesome. A lot of people didn't care for season 3, but I enjoyed all of them. But yeah, I would say that season 3 probably wasn't as good as 1 or 2.
Very nice.
So did you happen to remember what your number 3 was?
I do, and she came out this year actually. I want to give a honorable mention to a character from Metaphor ReFantazio, and that is Hulkenberg is her name, and that she's the red-haired elf lady from Metaphor. A lot of memes of her online if you are into the whole Metaphor community, and I think her character is pretty funny. She, I think also, if I recall correctly, she's named after a race car driver too. I believe every one of them in this game, there's a race car driver reference as well.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I see a NASCAR driver here on one of these pictures.
Yeah, I guess she was on a Formula One car, if I recall correctly.
What was the name again?
Hulkenberg.
Yes, an F1 Singapore Grand Prix in honor of Metaphor ReFantazio. Atlas sponsored a racer. So I'm assuming that this character was on the car. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know anything about it other than what you've talked about. I've literally not even seen anything from this game. So I would never, if you popped this character in front of me, I would have no idea what game it was from.
Yeah, she's just funny. She's like a very awkward, like stern type of character who's a former knight, but she like everyone makes fun of her because she just like eats everything. Like that's another thing too.
So for any of those who are out there, since I had it pulled up, this is the character because I had no idea who this was.
Yeah, Hulkenberg. I like her so far. Not done with the game yet, but she's definitely one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
Out of because I've heard a lot of good things about it. As good as everybody's been saying so far, or
Oh yeah, I think it's one of my favorite games this year. It's still not my game of the year.
Cool.
That still belongs to, as it stands right now, Unicorn Overlord.
Okay.
But another Atlas game that was made by Vanillaware. Like I said, there's a lot of good games this year if you're a JRPG fan.
there's been a lot. Yeah.
Hey, an angry Canadian is here saying, "Leave it to Adam to bring up metaphor." We're talking about party members. What do you expect?
I got one more that we should bring up too, since Canadians here.
Okay.
I guess we'll throw another honorable shout out to a Fire Emblem character that everyone has sister issues over, and that is Camilla from Fire Emblem Fates.
Is she like?
You'll understand why.
Yes. I got it here. So let me go ahead and a couple of reasons why.
Yeah, she's got as Luis would say, ballistics.
She's got great personality.
Yes.
So I totally understand, even though I've never played Fire Emblem game. Everything I know about Fire Emblem is from Smash Bros.
She wants to smash her bro.
Okay, then. Sounds right up James's alley.
There you go. She has the ballistics.
So what's up, Canadian? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you are doing well. I know you're pretty busy, so I haven't seen you as much lately, but yeah, hope you're doing good. So, all right, as for myself, I have quite a few honorable mentions to list here, and I'll just list them off in no particular order. I'll start with this one because this one I didn't even put on it until about like 10 minutes ago. I'm like, oh my goodness, how did I not think about that? But GLaDOS in Portal 2 becomes your companion as the potato, and she helps you get back control of the Aperture Science Lab after Wheatley takes over, and also a great character. Probably one of the best frenemy relationships in video games, in my opinion. I love GLaDOS. As I think when we talked about favorite video game antagonists on Party Chat a while back, I think GLaDOS was my answer. But yeah, a great character. I did have to mention one other of my favorite Mass Effect party members because we were talking about this on Carl's stream last week. As I gotta mention the Krogans, but it's tough because the two Krogan party members are both so great. But if I had to pick one, I said this on his stream. I like Grunt a little bit more than I like Rex, but I do love both of them. So shout out to Grunt. I love his character, and that's the one I was talking about earlier, where he's got a Steve Blum as his great voice actor, and he does tons of work. But he can say stuff in the IRL that's really dumb. But as a voice artist, he does a great job of voicing Grunt, who's just a great character. It was great seeing helping a Krogan basically through puberty in Mass Effect 2, and gaining his loyalty and basically becoming part of, you become part of his clan or he becomes part of your clan, whatever. But fun character. Yeah. On the Skyrim front, I had to put the first companion you meet, and she'll follow you anywhere, and you can marry her and have kids with her. But Lydia, I know a lot of people don't like her, but I liked her a lot. The only thing that I didn't like about her was trying to get through a doorway and she won't move. And it's like, Lydia, move so I can get through this doorway. But I liked Lydia.
I hate women named Lydia because I had a coworker named Lydia and she sucked.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. So another one I had to mention Gears of War, but there's two great answers for Gears of War, and that is both Dom and Coltrane.
Those are good ones.
Yeah, those are tough ones to have passed on.
But they both have to get a shout out because Dom will go to the end of the earth, and Coltrane is just a fun character. He treats everything as a joke. He's always in good spirits no matter how bad things get. I love Coltrane. So
love you, baby.
Yeah, he was a thrash ball player. He's very full of himself, but not in the over cocky kind of way. Just like he has a lot of confidence kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
He puts up a good front.
Yeah,
Yes.
lowest expectation. Lydia PTSD. She does get a lot of flack online, but I liked Lydia. I did marry her on my first playthrough of Skyrim. As mentioned, Falco. We talked about Falco. He's a great member of Team Star Fox.
I think I still need his amiibo. That's the one I actually want.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any amiibos since I kind of fell out of Nintendo after Wii, but I did get a Switch recently. So I do need to get some amiibos just because they're great figures to have, even if I don't understand how they integrate with video games.
Yeah, I know that they just did the Player 2 Cloud reprint recently.
Yep. Koopa Troopa, Boo, all them. Yep.
Yeah,
I have no idea what those words were that you just said, what that means.
From Final Fantasy VII Cloud.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was like the cloud where you store your data?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. The better cloud.
No, it's actually I didn't marry anybody in all 3 playthroughs of Skyrim. There was an achievement for it, so I definitely had to marry somebody.
You messed up. She runs a shop and takes care of your kids. It's a perfect situation.
Exactly.
You get to go out and hang with the bros and fight dragons, and she's at home making you money and raising your kids.
Yes. And when you do have her as a party member, she's great to have along, and she can carry your stuff for you too.
Yeah, a pack mule as well. There you go.
Yeah. So, also on the lines of Bethesda games, Dogmeat is my goodest boy of choice.
Yeah.
Because I have not played the one that you're talking about, and I also haven't played Amaterasu yet either. Or Okami.
Okami. I was gonna say, you mean Okami, right?
Yeah,
You gotta play
Amaterasu.
Okami.
Amaterasu is my good boy. Yeah, Amaterasu is my good boy.
Good girl. Get it
Good
right.
Good girl. Sorry.
I was like,
Sorry.
I
Fake
think,
fan exposed.
Sorry.
I think it's a girl. I have it. I haven't played it yet, but I will be playing it at some point because
It's Amy. Yeah, I call her Amy. So it is a girl.
I love that.
Apologize.
I love that she's in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh hell yeah. That's-
Hey,
Amaterasu, Beautiful Joe, Phoenix Wright. It's like my meme team. Let's go, boys.
Jay is here. What's up, Jay?
What up, buddy?
How's it going? Hope you're doing well. He was streaming earlier the Mad Max game, but I was able to view it, but I wasn't able to chat in it. So I've heard that's a very underrated game. I have it, another one that I plan to play, and I've heard it's really good. One of those top tier like movie based games. But I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So hope you had a good time streaming that. Yeah, Dogmeat is my goodest boy of choice. Good boy. I've not played a lot of Fallout 4 yet. I've started it, but I haven't gotten very far. But I did play through all of Fallout 3, and yeah, good boy. I always wanted to have a German Shepherd, but I have not. But I hope to have one someday.
So since we're talking about animals that are good companions, I'll throw out one more honorable mention.
All right.
All the animals you can tame in Far Cry Primal.
I did just recently pick that up due to your recommendation because it was on sale for like 75% off.
I've just been playing it again. It sucked up my soul. I'm just loving being a caveman, whacking people to death with a club. You know, it's like, let's go whack.
You can you tame pretty much anything in that, or there's certain
So-
animals you can't tame?
There are you can ride on some of the animals, but not all of them. And you can tame mostly predatory animals. So like saber-toothed tiger, grizzly bears, and you can even get a badger friend if you really want.
A badger friend. Now, can you also tame the woolly mammoths?
You can ride some of them, but you can't tame them.
Okay.
And you get like specialty tame animals too, and those are the ones you want.
Cool. So yeah, I'll be playing Far Cry Primal at some point, thanks to Carl here.
Best Far Cry game.
Yeah, Nerdtech saying, "Oh, that was supposed to be my first members only stream, but I think I set it up wrong. I was able to see it, I just wasn't able to chat. So I think you set the chat to members only. If you wanted to set it so that only members can view it, yeah, I think you have to set it to a members only stream, not just the chat to members only.
You should do it old school there, Nerd Takes, and give every one of your members jackets, and they have to wear it to watch your stream.
But yeah, he's saying it's a fun game. I've heard great things about it. I'm looking forward to playing it at some point. So, And then my last two honorable mentions, I wanted to put this one in my top 5, but it's not a game I've actually played. I played other games where this character is in it, but for the most part, he's a primary character, which invalidates the like qualifier as being a party member. And that is Zero from the Mega Man X franchise. The one where he technically is a party member is Mega Man X Command Mission, which is the turn-based RPG. I have not played because, as I've said, I don't like turn-based RPGs. So I don't know if I love Mega Man X, so I may give it a chance at some point. I haven't decided yet. But pretty much all the other ones that he's in, he's a playable character. So he counts as basically the main protagonist. So wouldn't qualify as a squad mate, really. Except for like Mega Man X3, you can use him very short period of time. So that would qualify. But I was like, it's kind of on the line as iffy, so I put it in my honorable mentions. But I love Zero on an episode of Party Chat when we were talking about our favorite like sidekicks. He was my number one choice for favorite sidekicks because I freaking love Zero. He's awesome.
Going into the dog category, Rush was like, and that it was an honorable mention. Rush was another one that was on there too, because
that's a good one. I didn't think about Rush, even though I love Mega Man, but it's because I'm more of a Mega Man X fan. There's no dog companion. That's more classic Mega Man.
I guess we need to add a couple more animal companions here.
Maybe we should do an animal companion top 5.
Palicos and Palamutes from Monster Hunter. We gotta throw those people in there.
Is one of those the cat characters that you've told
me
about?
Palicos are the cats, Palamutes are the dogs.
Okay.
And I can't go without Monster Hunter without mentioning your Palico friends, who either are you like your bestest friends or the people that make you the most sad. Especially when you're paralyzed, you're like, hit me, just hit me, cat, and the cat misses, and then the AI is like, well, I did my best.
So, but yeah, Nerdtake, since he's trying to do his first member stream, I'm assuming that means that you're monetized now. So if that is true, then congratulations, man.
Yeah, congrats.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
I'm this close to monetized hours on the 3,000, but I'm only like halfway on the sub, so it'll be a while if I ever get there. So, but I just do this for the fun of it. So if I get monetized, cool. If not, no biggie. So, and then my last honorable mention is for a game I didn't really care for, but this was the only reason that I was able to make it through the game. And this is one of those games where it's fun in a group of friends, but playing solo, in my opinion, is very boring. But because I'm a completionist, I had to trudge through it and get the 100% anyways, because I know I could do it. And that is the Borderlands games. I only did Borderlands 1 and 2. I was like, I don't like it enough to do 3 unless I had someone like who's like, all right, I'm committing to you. We'll play through the whole game in co-op. If someone was going to do that with me on Borderlands 3, I would say, all right, we'll do Borderlands 3. But Borderlands 1 and 2, I started with playing with a couple different groups of friends. We played like through level 10, and then we stopped playing, and then I started playing with another group of friends. I played the beginning of both of them like 3 or 4 times, and I ended up playing like 90% of the game solo. So the one reason I was able to get through Borderlands 2 by myself is I played as Gage the Necromancer, and your robot companion that is basically your special ability is a Claptrap on steroids. His name is Death Trap. And so shout out to Death Trap. He took all the heat off me and was my aggro to all the enemies so that I could stay alive and get through Borderlands 2. So shout out to Death Trap in Borderlands 2.
If you ever want to finish 3, just let me know. I'm a huge Borderlands guy, and I can definitely, play that. It's always fun with extra people. So if you ever...
Is it crossplay?
I believe so. It's been a while since I jumped to it.
Because if you wanted to...
Because I got it on PC.
See, I have it on PC as well. Actually, I probably have it on everything.
Want to do it in December?
Borderlands 3 does say it's crossplay. At least
want to do it in December, Jason?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, we'll go work out some time then. We'll talk after the show.
And it's on Xbox. It's currently on sale for $6. It's down.
It's
90%.
It's super cheap.
$60.
Because I haven't played that one. I bought the Super Duper Collector's Edition and never played a minute of it.
Interesting. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I hear that it is.
The main antagonists are cringy, but other than that, I know almost nothing about the game. But I like the gameplay enough if I had someone to play with. So if you guys wanted to be like, hey, let's do it, I would be open to it. So
I want to play more games in December with my friends. So there we go.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, we can talk about that later. But Yeah, like after the stream. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, cool. And Lowest Expectation says I played Borderlands 1 and 2 solo with the sniper character. That's what I started off with on Borderlands. Shoot, which one had 0? He was like the ninja character. Was that
2.
1? Or, that was 2?
2.
Okay, because I always like ninja type characters, so I tried him out and I liked where it was going, but it was going to take way too long to get him up to a level where it was like actually a playable character, because his skill lasts like, when you start off, his skill lasts like 0.5 seconds. So it's like you really got to level him up in order for him to actually be playable. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to switch to a different character. I tried because my main Borderlands 1 character, I played Brick, the heavy, and I
Brick, it's fun.
I thought he was going to be like, basically what's the Gunzerker guy's name in 2? Is like he's got a Hispanic.
Oh man.
Anyways, I thought that's basically what Brick was going to be. So I was like, oh yeah, let's go with the heavy, because he'll be like the heavy and like Team Fortress will have all the guns, but then his super ability, he goes around punching everything. I was like, but he becomes basically a tank and he's almost invincible because he has
Salvador.
so much health. So Salvador, thank you. So I just stuck with it just because he becomes so tanky when he uses his ability. But I was like, oh sweet, a ninja character in 2, and I tried it. I'm like, it's gonna take too long, so I switched to Salvador. But that was with another set of friends. Then I started playing it when I was like, all right, I'm going to play through this entirely by myself. I'm not going to play through it with Salvador. I'm going to play through it with Gage the Necromancer. So I've got the Death Trap to help me get through it. So, yeah, he says it was tricky, but doable. Yeah. So, all right. Well, that will wrap it up for our honorable mentions and bring us into our number ones. So, and before we do, he says, I didn't use his ability much from what I remember, mostly just dancing around the arena's cover and picking off headshots. So, oh yeah, the similar character in 1, I just blanked on his name, but he had the Bloodwing. I know that was the character that my buddy used. If I was to go back and play through it again solo, I'd probably play through it as Roland, because his turret becomes super powerful later on in the once you get him leveled up.
I always play as the Sirens.
Sirens are fun to play as. Yep.
That's a good pick. So, all right. Well, on to our number ones. And is anyone wanting to go first?
I say Neil should go first.
I can go first because mine's gonna be pretty easy.
Mordecai, thank you. That's Mordecai was the name I was looking for. The guy who has the Bloodwing, and then you fight Mordecai and his Bloodwing in 2, if I remember correctly.
You fight the Bloodwing in 2.
The Bloodwing,
yeah.
Right. So, well, let's see here. So Carl nominated me to go first. I'm fine with that. But Jason says he wants to go first. What do you call it, Jason?
So I can go first because a lot of our viewers are probably gonna know which game it's gonna be from.
All right.
Kind of hinted it as we were going down, but the idea of the game that everybody knows, which character did I choose? Because this whole list could have been every character from the game. So I'm gonna go to Carl because Carl probably knows the game. Carl, which character do you think I chose from this game? It is an RPG, obviously.
From Final Fantasy VII?
That is correct on the game.
Can't be Cloud, because that's the main.
I'm gonna say Barrett.
So Barrett was a close number 1 because his story is so good. You did. I saw that. I'm like, Barrett's a really, really good call out because again, Barrett's character is really, really good, and his backstory is very tragic in a way, and even more tragic when you find out later stuff in the game too. But no, I went with the main party member that was so good they had to kill her, and I chose Aerith.
There you go.
Yeah,
I was like, it's gonna be a woman after it isn't Barrett. I just didn't know which one.
Yeah. No, I chose Aerith because her in the game is probably the most important piece of the puzzle of what the game is. She's there to pretty much guide everyone to what everything should be. You find her in the slums. You find out, she's this crazy, super old, ancient, part of an ancient civilization kind of thing like that. She's one of the last of them. But her biggest thing is to show that, like, hey, Cloud, you need to be yourself, not this person that you're planning to be. Hey, Tifa, you should take a little bit more risks. And if you really like this guy, you should go this route. Like, she's literally the heart and soul of the group. And she's so strong that you can't play her the whole game, because if you got her final limit break in the original game, you just don't die ever, because her final limit break is ridiculous. Like, and it's almost impossible to get the final limit break too. Like, you almost have to hack the game to get it. I've seen there's ways to kind of get it now, but I still don't believe those ways, because the final limit break you find her is like almost after she dies anyway. So, but what she brings to the game is just so good. In the remake, Brianna White is so good as Aerith. Like, her voice acting is her. I'm glad she's getting a lot of like awards and everything like that coming into this year, because I know she's won a couple already for her work in the remake. Her character in the Rebirth is so good too. But yeah, I can't say anything great about her just because it's so good. I can't do it justice. Tifa is my favorite girl character in the game, but Aerith in the remake and in everything that she does is so tough to take that number one spot. But yeah, I mean, what she brings to Final Fantasy VII is so good, and the heart, the soul, everything that she does, her abilities as the healer, great for everyone as well. But yeah, it was tough to just take one of these characters, because I can go on and on about everybody, but I chose one. I chose her, and yeah, she's great.
And you are a giant fan of the remake, correct?
I am a huge fan. Yes.
So, yeah, as you know, I've said, I'm not huge on turn-based RPG, so I know almost nothing about Final Fantasy except for what I've learned from, people on the stream who are fans of it.
Yeah.
What would you say is the general consensus among Final Fantasy fans between the classic and the remake? Is it kind of down the middle? Do most people still prefer the original, or a lot of people like the remake? What would you say?
I mean, for the fans that I know, it's more like, obviously we love the original, but we also love the remake. But as some fans are, and they don't care for the changes much, which I completely understand. Like, the game was great back then. It can be split 50-50. But I mean, what they've technically done with the remakes, I always tell them, if you don't like it, think of it as not a remake. I mean, well, technically think of it as a remake, not a remastered, and then don't think of it as 7. Think of it as like 7-2 or 7 whatever, like put another thing on it, because the game that you're playing is a continuation and different stories of what happens, kind of, in a way. So but yeah, there's a lot of crazy things that's happening with the plot and the story and stuff like that, but it's so good. I can't wait for the third one, especially with some of the stuff with Aerith going on. I mean, we all know what kind of happens, but with some of the stuff that's happening at the end of Rebirth, and if you use some of the song cues and clues, and you put a lot of puzzle pieces together, there could be some really fun things happening with Aerith still ahead with the next game that's coming out.
Yeah, I still need to play that one.
It's a lot of fun. Like I said, it is a big game, so I do understand. Like, if you play it as the Breath of the Wild style and you do everything, I can see people getting tired. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to have all that stuff there, but if you're just like, hey, I want to know the story, play the story part of it. You still get a really good game, but there's a lot to do, and I appreciate that for that. And I also appreciate they're like, hey, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Do this, and you won't lose anything. You just, you can go back and just get extra stuff, which is great too. So like, there's a lot of stuff to do in it, both ways, both games. But yeah, Aerith is again, I think the best party member from the first 7 all the way to what we got now with her character stuff. But again, it's really hard for me not to choose Barrett for what Barrett goes through. It's hard for me not to choose, Red 13 for what he has to go through. There's, so many characters in that game that are just so good.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, in that case, since you volunteered me, do you want me to go next and then you to finish this off, Carl?
Yeah, my wife's asking me a question, so it'd be perfect time.
Perfect. All right. So for me, my number one here, not keeping on, but we did talk about it earlier. It is in a Bethesda game, and it is not the Elder Scrolls, even though I prefer Elder Scrolls to Fallout, but my favorite is from Fallout. And as I mentioned earlier, Fallout 3, I've played through in its entirety, and I had a lot of fun with that one. And the best party member is from Fallout 3, and that is Fox. And that's not Fox, it's Fawkes, named after Guy Fawkes. The one like super mutant that is not like his mind isn't lost. He still has his mind. He's really smart. And you find him in a vault, and I don't remember, it's been so long since I played. I don't remember exactly what you do to befriend him, but he becomes your buddy. And oh my goodness, this guy is freaking amazing for combat because he will follow you anywhere, and he is like a walking tank. He's a super mutant, so he's immune to radiation, and he's huge. And he's the best pack mule you can ask for because you can have him carry all your stuff, so you don't have to be over encumbered, and then you can grab it off him when you get back to town and then sell it for caps. And he has a Gatling laser cannon, and I feel like I said, it's been a long time since I played Fallout 3. I want to say it's a unique weapon. You can't find it anywhere else, but I could be wrong about that. Or maybe I think there is a special version of it that you can find that is, because basically every gun in the game has a unique version that you can find somewhere that's more powerful. It has some sort of special perks. But he has just a basic repeating Gatling laser, and that thing tears through enemies like crazy. You just basically sit back and he does all the work. But you can even get him the even better version because he has unlimited ammo, so you don't have to worry about ammo. And so he just tears everything up just with the basic one. You can give him an even better version if you go find that unique Gatling laser and give it to him. And he is awesome. The one and only thing that was bad about it, but they did fix it, was in the original ending of the game, you have to go into a radiated chamber, and you would think, oh, just send Fox in so he can go do it since he's a super mutant. He's immune to radiation. And he's basically says something like, no, this is your destiny. You have to go in there and die from the radiation. They fixed that with the third DLC, which is Broken Steel, which is a fantastic DLC. And then because in the Fallout 3, once you finish the story, the game ends. You can't continue to explore the wasteland. That was an issue a lot of people had with the game. Is like, first of all, this makes no sense that I can't have him go do it, and it's a freaking wide open world RPG. Why can't I go continue exploring the wasteland after I finish the game? They fixed that with the Broken Steel DLC, so you can keep going and explore the rest of the wastelands with Fox in tow. And he was just a great character. It was great having a super mutant that is also intelligent, not super intelligent, but he's smart enough that he knows some literature and stuff. And he's just a great character, and he just made the game so much more fun having him on my team, just wrecking everything and helping keep me alive and take the heat. And he's almost invincible. I don't know if he ever actually went down because of how much health he has. Just such an awesome character. So that is my number one, is Fox from Fallout 3. And I've been talking, so when I'm talking about mine, I keep forgetting to pull it up to show people, but I got it here, so let me go ahead and pull it up for anyone who doesn't know. We got Fox, the super mutant, and yeah, so not great to look at for sure, but he is an awesome squad mate. And next time, if I ever play through Fallout 3 again, I want to get him as soon as possible because he's just so great to have on your team. So, and we also got Metal Shred Freak in the chat over on the Twitch side with some emojis, which I don't know what those are because
that's a cuck emoji.
Oh, is that what's his name?
Yes,
the beard guy. I forget his name. But
one of them.
But what's up, Shred? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well tonight.
And JT's here too.
JT Pixel, what's up, JT? Hope you're doing well. Did you raid me from Twitch? Is that what's going on here? If so, I appreciate it. We're getting close to the end here, but we still got a few more minutes left. But yeah, we're ranking our top 5 favorite party members / teammates / squad mates, in-game partners, friends, whatnot, as long as they have a name and they are not the main character. So that made me laugh more than it should. All right. Oh, and JT Pixel with the goon emoji. Well, good to see you guys. So, yeah, Fox is my number one party member. So that will, unless Carl has anything to say about Fox, then that will leave us with him to finish off our number ones.
No, I just didn't expect you to pick a Fallout character as your number one.
Yeah.
All right, same.
Sorry, I just saw this funny meme that just popped up on my feed. It says "Happy 18th birthday, Jenny and Nintendo Wii." I don't know why that was so funny to me.
Oh, JT Pixel did the raid. Well, thank you, JT. I appreciate it. Good to see you guys. So, funny you say that. The emote is Silver Fox. Jack Murphy, that's the name I was thinking of. Or I was trying to think of. So I was like, that looks like Jack Murphy. I couldn't remember his name. Is Silver Fox with a Jack Murphy beard. I don't know who Silver Fox is, but I know who Jack Murphy is.
Let's just say we call his wife Sandy Hook for various reasons.
I'm not even gonna go there, so. All right, Carl, what is your number one party member?
So my number one party member is actually a lot of party members, because this one is I'm pulling a Jason here, and I'm gonna cheat because
Is it Ditto?
No, but it is Pokemon. It is your starter Pokemon in Pokemon.
Oh, you're just your starter, whatever it is.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good one. I can see that.
Yeah, I feel like if we're talking about companions, we're gonna have to probably talk about Pokemon, and you can't get much closer to one of the better companions, party members, whatever you want to call it, than the first Pokemon you ever choose in any Pokemon game. It is almost basically a rite of passage for anyone in the 90s and early 2000s who loves Pokemon, or even just like just casual people who only played Red and Blue. Everyone's got a favorite Pokemon. Even if you play the game, just watch the anime or play the card game, whatever, everyone always has one. And usually a starter Pokemon is always in everyone's top 5 or their number 1.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have a favorite Pokemon because I don't, like we said recently on Party Chat, because one of our topics was, I think it was when Jason was on, or no, it was when Dude was on, never mind. But we talked about what Pokemon do you most closely identify with. I remember that one, what my answer was for that. But if I had to pick a favorite Pokemon, I don't know, because I was never really into Pokemon. Like, I know most of Gen 1, but that's about it, other than all the other that are the non-Gen 1 Pokemon I do know, or only know them because of Smash Bros. Since I was, my what's the opposite of an affinity? My aversion to turn-based RPGs. I never got into Pokemon, but I do know most of them. I don't know if I could pick a favorite Pokemon. But since you are big on Pokemon, I might have already asked you this before, but if you had to pick one starter out of all the starter Pokemon, what would be your starter Pokemon of choice out of all the generations?
Yeah, I think we talked about this on Party Chat too, and I said my favorite starter Pokemon is Trico from Gen 3.
That's right. You did answer that question. So, and Nerd Takes saying that his would be Charmander.
Yeah, and Jason, didn't you have one you said too?
Yeah, mine's Squirtle all day.
Squirtle.
Yeah, and that's what like I'm saying. It's like, how many generations of Pokemon do we have now? And you get your basic choice of one of the 3 starter Pokemon every gen, and it's all like, it doesn't matter what game you start. There's always one that catches your eye. And you go like, that's my dude, and that's what I go with.
Pikachu.
Yes.
There we go.
Actually,
Pokemon Yellow.
The fun question actually to ask like people that play Pokemon is: has there ever been a starter that you have not just got them, and then as soon as you got 6 other Pokemon, you just didn't want to use them anymore?
Yeah, Pikachu.
Really? You're not a fan of Pikachu?
Because you couldn't evolve him. I'm not like the big Pikachu believer. I hate Pikachu so much.
I like Pikachu mainly because I love him in Smash Bros.
Yeah, no, that's the only time I ever really wanted to get rid of my starter Pokemon was Yellow, and that's because you got all the starter Pokemon in Yellow. It's like, why would I want this bum Pikachu? Oh, he can surf and fly, big deal. I got Blastoise and I got a Charizard. We're good to go.
Right.
Okay, so in Yellow, I thought you automatically start with Pikachu and you have no choice. Can you pick?
Yes.
Okay.
But you get the starters by like the end of gym the second gym. You get all the starters.
Oh, like
Yeah.
Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they kind of follow the TV show in a way, so you get them. So like, Squirtle's doing his thing, Charmander's about to die pretty much, and Bulbasaur just doesn't want to be loved anymore, so somebody just gives them away. Like all Bulbasaur fans, can relate to that.
Yeah, it's like the
Sorry, Bulbasaur
Bulbasaur's
fans.
Bulbasaur, like you get from I forget, like a daycare lady or something there in Cerulean City, and she's like, "Oh, you're really strong. You can have this Bulbasaur." And then the other guys to get Charmander, he's like, "Yeah, I'm a bum. Take this Charmander." I'm like, "Okay, you don't have to twist my arm here,
Right.
And then Squirtle's like, "Hey, this is you go to a police officer. She's like, "Hey, this guy's like a little shit. Here you go."
Yep. Squirtle Squad, let's go.
Yeah, baby, Squirtle Squad.
And actually, lowest expectations.
Yeah, I was just gonna say lowest.
Yeah,
expectation said-
Yeah, you got me. Yeah, that's interesting.
But that's typically pretty rare, right? You typically keep
I
your
think it
starters
is.
through your entire playthrough for the most part for most people.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I think a lot of starters have like a lot of good versatility for typing, especially in like the later generations. A lot of them have dual types, and that helps cover like a extra set of weaknesses.
Okay.
Like, even though I'm not a big fan of, well, even though I like the other two starters, like Sceptile, the last form of Trico, he's just a monotype versus the other two have dual typing.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
It's
So
like,
yeah,
It's
it's like think of rock paper scissors. If you have a Pokemon, he could be scissors and paper, and then he can
okay.
beat out the other one. So there's obviously fire, water, electric, flying, bug, poison, psychic, all these kind of things. So each can do double damage, have resistance, and all that kind of stuff. So easier way to make sure you don't get screwed.
yeah, it's like you can have a water type that's also like a ground type or something like that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it all depends. Like I said, it's like Jason said, it's like the rock paper scissors mechanic, but then they throw in a little twist at every now and then.
Gotcha. And lowest expectation says his favorite starters were Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Turtwig. That is Gen 2?
Gen 2 and 4.
2 and 4. Oh.
Yeah, it's, Chikorita and Cyndaquil are from 2 and Turtwig's from 4.
Ah, okay. What was the third one then with Chikorita and Cyndaquil?
Totodile.
Totodile. Okay. Yeah, I do know those ones. I think all of those were in Smash. But it depends. I think the starter makes the game too easy. Sometimes they become a crutch, so it's more interesting to go without them. Okay. You want to make it a little more challenging? Ditch your starters. That makes sense.
Yeah, but they also have like some of the more appeasing style to them too. Like that's another thing. Is like the aesthetics of like a lot of the starter Pokemon just like they carry. Like there's one called Decidueye, which is really cool because he's like a owl archer kind of dude who's also a ghost type, and he looks so cool.
Oh, that was one of the most recent ones, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the Sun and Moon.
Yeah, because I remember choosing that one because I was like, some of the grass Pokemon like later on have been like kind of cool. So,
well, yeah, he's a little grass owl. How could you go wrong with like a little owl?
I saw that. I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is awesome. Like, Squirtle's still my favorite, but I saw this thing. I'm like, man, this is kind of putting Squirtle to the test.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's like an owl. It's like I always would love to own an owl. Like I get so excited when I hear an owl when I'm outside or have my windows up at night. I remember I was just like talking to one of my buddies on the phone one night. I'm like, wait, hold on, and I just heard a hoo hoo hoo. I'm like, is that an owl? Oh man, that made my night.
Well, maybe we'll have to do a top 5 Pokemon at some point.
Oh, that would be awesome. I would 100% be in on that one.
Nice. Yeah,
I actually got 2 Pokemon plushies today too. The ironic part you say that.
All right. Yep.
We just got these Butterfree plushies in the other day at work, and man, they actually look pretty sick.
Yeah, the Pokemon Company's been the Pokemon Company in general has been putting out so much high quality like merchandise lately. It's insane. Like a small tangent. I'm like watching people like price value out like full art cards. Like there's this card that was called a Gold Star Rayquaza, and it was like selling for like almost $2,000.
Wow.
And I looked at my wife. I'm like, I sold my collection for you just to let you know, and we could have easily probably been on like $100,000 right now.
That's funny. So I went to go add Pokemon to my list of potential topics for top 5 and found that I already had written down. So
I think we probably have that written down.
yeah. So yeah, that'd be fun to do a top 5 Pokemon at some point. So we'll see about doing that next year. So,
Do you have a top 5 edgelords?
I do not have that on the list.
Vincent Valentine, Shadow the Hedgehog. Let's keep going.
Exactly.
And all right, one thing that you mentioned earlier that I wanted to ask you about before we finish off here, you were talking about you didn't like Pikachu because you can't evolve him. I mean, he evolves into Raichu, so why can't you evolve him?
So Pokemon Yellow was a special one, where basically the trade-off was that Pikachu can learn like special moves and get like a little bit more powerful, but he was basically the only Pokemon that could follow you around, so he would not evolve at all. It was kind of like in the anime where Ash's Pikachu won't evolve. That's basically what they did.
Okay. So all right, that makes sense. So notes, we did not mention that, but I did mention that over I was briefly over at Devil Made Me Do It's rank channel before we started here, and they were talking about Zelda, and I was like, Zelda from Twilight Princess is the best Zelda, but Midna's even better. So we didn't talk about it here, but I did mention it in chat over on Devil Stream. Because well, that's because they're ranking video game babes. We're not ranking video game babes. We're just talking about basically party members and teammates and squad mates and stuff. But yeah, no one did mention Zelda, but I think she's probably, I guess, that she would definitely qualify for sure.
She probably, yeah.
Although she's more active in the game, I believe, in the newer ones, the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which I haven't played yet. She's more of a background character that helps you once or twice throughout the game in the gameplay aspect in the older games. But she still definitely would qualify. But yeah, no one did mention Midna or Zelda. So, but all right. Well, and actually for party members, I think Oliver from Trails in the Sky is one of my top 5. Okay. I've heard good things about the Trails games. I don't know anything about them. I like the Trials games. That's the Trials HD, or you're the dirt bike guy trying to not fall off his motorcycle and fall too many times. But the Trails games, I don't know much about, other than Mark has said good things about them on Party Chat before. Either of you guys, since you guys are more into the JRPG side of things, do you guys know about the Trails series?
Those are 2 JRPG for me.
It's on the to-do list. I know that they're getting remakes soon, so there you go.
Okay. Well, as usual, we are definitely open to revisiting this topic in a future episode. If you guys want to come on and rank your top 5 favorite party members, because I had a few people that I reached out to that couldn't make it tonight, but they said they'd definitely be interested in the future. So if you want to come on and do top 5 and rank your top 5 favorite party members, let me know, and we can make it happen in the future. But we'll go ahead.
Reach out for John, like next year too. John really wanted to come on today, but he couldn't.
Oh, Sophomore John?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He was had him on for open mic not too long ago, and it was a great discussion. I look forward to having him on again in the future. Great dude.
Yeah, he is.
So all right. I'll go around the horn here and ask you guys if you got anything going on. Joe, we'll start with Jay. I forget every time. Jason, thank you. Go ahead.
Yep. But first, as always, we always figure out who technically is our top 5 for this topic right now. So again, we are open to it opening back up because, again, there's only 3 of us right now. Again, the more people we have on the show, the more fun it gets to actually clarify, like, hey, these are the top 5 for sure best party members, or these are the 5 best whatever topic that we're talking about. So the more times we get to revisit, and you are interested in watching or even joining the show, it's always fun to kind of talk about it. But for right now, as it stands, our top 5 is Ty at number 4 with Garrus and HK47. And then, because like I said, I knew this was going to be an episode where we had a lot of individual ones. We have 3 number 1s. One is Fox, one is Aerith, and the other one is your starter Pokemon. So that is our top 5 as of right now, as it sits. So if when we open this back up, that's going to be ours, and hopefully more gets taken out. Things can change however it goes, but it's good to have this as our base 5 now, and we go from there.
So, yeah, Nerd Takes is saying, I don't think anyone wants to hear me say potty for a whole episode.
Yes, I do. That's the whole point.
With the Boston accent. No, we love it, man. We love
it. Come on here, make it wicked awesome.
So,
you cocksucker.
Definitely. Like I said at the beginning, I screwed up and on the scheduling, so we only had 3 people. But I would absolutely love to revisit this with a new panel in the future. So if you guys want to, you're definitely welcome to, because I want to hear what your guys' favorite party members are. So, but it was fun nonetheless. So that guy is wicked pissa. So, Jason, I know you're pretty busy. So, do you got anything you want to plug?
No, gonna finish my top 5 PlayStation games. Sounds like I might be playing some Borderlands, which is always fun because I just looked at how many hours I've played of this game and it's silly. So excited to kind of jump in and play it again with some people. Other than that, hopefully things will calm down and I can, do more stuff and have a little bit more help and more creativity coming back. But as of right now, these top 5s have been a lot of fun, a lot of, taking me to out of work stuff and more into, kind of entertaining and having fun talking to people about, topics that is always great to do.
Right on.
So, love having you on here and being my excellent co-host. I love hanging out with you and talking video games. So doing awesome, and I look forward to continuing this on next year. Are you okay there, Carl?
I just punched my desk. Ow.
What? Why did you do that?
My phone fell over and I panicked, and then I just did the old uppercut the desk. That hurt so much.
Want me to kiss and make it better?
No, I got a wife for that.
Okay.
Also, before we go, because our first episode of Top 5 in the next year, if anybody in chat or anybody that watched this later on, if there was any moments or any fun things happened during our Top 5, it will be 22 episodes. Please let us know, because our first episode of 2025 will be Top 5 episodes from Top 5. So I know we sort of mentioned it, but that's for sure what we're going to do. So again, if anybody has any things that we want to see, anything like that, we'd love to see what the chat has to say too, so we can add that to what Neo and myself definitely have thought about too. So
yeah, we'll be ranking our favorite things that have happened over. I'm trying to look back at when the first. Oh, you know what? This would probably be easier to go to the playlist to see when the first episode of Top 5 was.
Yeah.
Top 5. There's my playlist. Episode 1 was on February 20th. So,
wow. We almost been doing this for a year. Dang. Okay.
Getting close. So,
holy cow.
Episode 1 was February 20th, and we were ranking Metroidvanias. So, we've, for the most part, we've done 2 a month. I don't, because I think all the ones that I missed, Jason was able to fill in on its own. So I don't know if we've actually missed any weeks.
No, we missed the one, but because we had a 3-week gap, and that was one. But then we're doing back-to-back weeks. So we technically we've averaged pretty much one every other week, like we wanted to do. So yeah, it's awesome that we were continuing to do this. So yeah, our biggest break will be after next week, where we take the month off to kind of regroup and get ready for the next year, because it's going to be a lot more fun, and hopefully we get more new guests and the same old guests. It's going to be a lot of fun next year too. So
yes, the number one moment was Fractured, Nerd Takes, and me with Jason for comedy. Number one moment.
Well, spoilers.
That's what I vote.
All right. Yes. So, and Nerd Slap is here saying, "Hail Top 5. What's up, Nerd Slap? Hope you're doing well tonight, buddy. I'm working with him on something, so I've got some plans to spice things up a little bit in the new year. So,
he's gonna try onions. That's what he's gonna do.
He's gonna try an onion.
He's gonna eat corn and onions. He's gonna spice it up.
A raw onion.
Hey, raw onions are good.
No. I mean, like, just like biting a raw onion as like an apple. That's,
How much do I have to pay you for that, Neo? What's the price?
It would be cheaper than getting me to play a JRPG. I'll tell you that.
Ooh, what's the price?
Ooh.
You haven't even told me for either of those.
I
You
know.
do.
I haven't put enough thought into it yet.
I say if it's cheaper, I'm like, hey, okay, I'll pay money for you to play FF7.
If FF7 came to Xbox, I would definitely be open to playing the new one, the remake, because it's
Yeah, the remake is what
an
yeah.
action one. So you wouldn't even need to pay me to play that one. But yeah, working with Nerd Slap on some cool stuff to spice things up, make it a little more interesting in the future. I'm very much looking forward to debuting that come the new year. So good to see you, Nerd Slap. Hope you're doing well tonight. Always good to see you, buddy. Carl, what about you? Got anything you got going on that you want to plug?
Tomorrow, I've decided that I'm gonna have a Friendsgiving episode.
That's right.
But I'm still waiting on a thumbnail from a friend to put it up. But basically, people who are in my Discord, just come in and you can talk about whatever you want. I do not care. I basically said this is one of those TTS episodes. You know what I mean?
TTS?
Talk that shit.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I'm like, talk something. I'm like, what's it's like?
Yeah, because I know. I've gotten a couple people said that I plan to start probably roughly around 7 Central, and basically people want to come in, I'll just link it to my Discord because it's just a come and go. Doesn't have to be serious. You could come in and say, yeah, this is what I'm grateful for, or it's like, it's really bothering me, bears, and just like rant about bears if you want.
Bears.
I don't care.
Galactica.
It's one of those fun things, I feel like maybe if we get enough people on there, maybe we can play some Halo multiplayer and just do like some good old frag in the talk room show kind of like, bits and stuff like that. But besides that, just kind of want to hang out with my friends who have had on. A lot of people have been introduced to by both of you guys. Both of you have been on my show. Really, really have enjoyed our time together. The more I've hung out with you guys this year, you guys are 2 of my favorite people on the internet. That's for sure.
Definitely one of mine as well.
Yeah.
So, depending, I would definitely love to join you. I don't know if I'll be able to, but depending on how long you go, I may be able to join you tomorrow.
I think I said 2 a.m. was the cutoff. I would like to go my time.
Oh, okay. I can definitely join you a bit later then. Not that.
Yes.
I mean, that's, earlier my time.
Well, that's midnight for you at the latest.
So
Yeah,
I'll definitely be able to join you then at some point.
I will definitely drop you a line and maybe make a guest appearance because if you're going that late, I should be home and I can jump in and just say, hey, what's up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I sent invite to Discord because I don't know because you're usually busy. So I'm like, Jason will get to me when he wants to. But yeah, if like I said, anything you want. If you just want to come in there and just talk about like how you think the moon's made of cheese or like the government's controlled by lizard people. I know that I know Static had a good one when we talked on yesterday that we wanted to talk about. Because these are fun. These are what you're supposed to have with conversation with your friends. Even if you go like, you are like the dumbest person sometimes. I love it.
It makes you think of in Iroha. He's like, you are the dumbest smart person I've ever met.
Yeah.
So, well, cool. Yeah, I should probably be able to hop on there for probably about the last 2 hours of that and hang out with you. So,
yeah, and basically that's really about it. I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving, and if you're working retail, God bless your souls. Jason's one of them, but I hope you make it through. And then if you're not, I hope you get some good deals for Black Friday. I already did my Black Friday shopping. I bought some video games, and that's really about it because I'm a loser, according to people online.
I remember seeing someone mention that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember seeing someone calling someone a loser for it's like that's not very out of the normal.
Yes, me being a loser, you're correct.
That's not what I was talking about. But
now,
you did your Black Friday shopping before Black Friday? Are you a time traveler?
Yeah, they basically put all their Black Friday deals out there. I saw Silent Hill 2 for the was $30 at Walmart, and I hopped on that deal right away.
A good one.
Ooh, yeah, you're roboting too hard, Neo.
My internet has been not great as of late.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We've heard the tale of you and Comcast.
Yep. So,
But yeah, that's really about it. Next month, I'll be back more in December. Hopefully, just doing co-op games. Hopefully with you guys and everyone else, or just hanging out. Talking that shit, as they say. Just having fun. That's what December is. December. This is the holiday times. It's to be with your family, to be with your friends, just to kind of enjoy some slowdown in life. Hopefully, but for some people, I know it isn't. And for some people, you don't have friends or family either, and that's just sad. But hey, listen, you always gotta.
yeah. So, all right. Yeah, Nerdtake says he'll try to stop by if he's able to. And yeah, it's now Black Friday week, exactly. Followed by Cyber Monday. And Christian Frades is here. Good evening, Christian Frades. Good to see you as always. Hope you're doing well. And so, yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving, regardless of what you're doing. But as for myself, I don't have anything else planned here on my channel for the rest of the week. I have been talking to Waiter Prince about he hit me up and he just DM'd me while we're on the stream to follow up. So we don't have it scheduled yet, but we're talking about doing a stream where we're playing Overcooked. So
nice. Oh, there you go.
That'll be over on his channel though. I don't plan to stream it on mine, but we'll see. But that should be fun regardless. But yeah, as for the next stuff coming up here on my channel, I will be back with Metroidvania Monday on Monday. I don't know what I'm going to be playing yet because I beat AM2R, but since I'm basically taking all of or most of December off, I didn't want to get into my next game and then leave it on pause for like a month. So last night I did a bunch of Metroidvania demos, and that was fun. I may just play something that I've already beaten in for Metroidvania Monday next Monday and just have some fun with it before actually starting. Because I'll plan to start Super Metroid as I'm playing through the Metroid games. That'll be the next one up. Will be Super Metroid. I'll probably start off my first Metroidvania Monday in January with Super Metroid. So I don't know what I'm going to play yet, but I'll be playing something. And then, as Jason alluded to earlier, we got back-to-back top fives. We have one more top five for the year, and that will be next Tuesday, December 3rd, which could not be any more perfect because he's a little while back. He's like, I want to do a top five of PS1 games. And in December is the PlayStation 1 anniversary. So we looked it up and it was December 3rd. And I looked at the calendar. I'm like, that's a Tuesday when we were going to be doing a top five anyways. So it could not have been any more fortuitous. We're going to be ranking our top five PS1 games next Tuesday on the 3rd. So that'll be fun. My list will be interesting, but I'm not going to go into why. You'll have to wait.
I have to choose my favorite child. It's going to be tough.
So, and then I will be doing a couple episodes of Dude Souls on the 4th and the 8th and the 11th, and then probably not again until January, assuming that we don't finish it before the end of the stream on the 11th, because we are getting close to the end. So we'll see if I make it through to the end of the game before the 11th, but if not, we'll continue that in January. And then I got one more Achievement Chasers on Thursday the 5th. And then other than that, I don't really have anything else planned for December because I'm basically taking the month off to just do some gaming. Since I stream so much, I don't get a whole lot of time to game. So I'm going to get some good gaming in December. And who knows, maybe we'll be playing some Borderlands 3 with these guys. So, but yes, everyone who came and hung out with us in chat, appreciate seeing you guys as always. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And
who you got on next week?
For top five PS1 games?
Yeah.
Melee James and Dude 1286.
Oh, there you go.
So that will be our panel for top five next week. So, but yeah, everyone who came out and hung with us in chat, thank you, Carl. Thank you as always for hanging out on the panel with us and saving
thank you.
But for not having a full panel as we usually do, that was entirely my fault, as I said before. But special huge shout out to Nerdporial. I don't know if he's still here, but huge shout out to Nerdporial. Thank you for dropping that tip bomb on me. That was amazing. I so greatly appreciate it. You are awesome, dude. You rock, and I hope you have a extra special Thanksgiving as well. So that will wrap it up for tonight. You guys all have a great Thanksgiving. We will see you all later. Have a good evening, everyone. We'll talk to you later.
So long, farewell.
It's funny you mentioned that, but I will tell you guys about that backstage. So
have
a good one, everyone.
Sorry, chat, you can't find out.
Nino was German. That's what he's saying.
Well, that's not a surprise. But you all have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you. And as always, in the meantime, game on.
Later.